Internet to the Play Some Video Games podcast. It's your boy, Dat Ninja Dev, joined again by Donnie Eat the Hype Reese and Delvin. It's clobbering time, Cox. What are you giggling at, sir?
I appreciate that your mic phased out, so I just heard "come internet." Yo.
Come,
nice.
Yo,
on brand.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to make the internet come.
Whoa,
show up, and it is what it is.
I like that
Lexus
opener way better.
Yeah. Lexus Texas has been doing that for years.
Wow. Wow.
If you get that reference, you are old.
Lord. Yes.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. And we are old. This is definitely the old of us.
Yes. D-Life clearly got that reference.
Yep. He's part of the 7, actually it's the 8 now. It's the Ocho.
Yeah, the Ocho.
So what's up, Daniel?
Got Lonzo back in Chicago for many years to come.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully he plays, who knows?
Excited.
Got Jimmy Butler the fuck out of there.
Yeah, you did.
Go.
He's gone. He got his money. He's in Golden State. Jimmy got everything he wanted.
Yeah.
So didn't he say he wasn't going to sign an extension with Golden State?
He was lying.
100% did. He signed a 2-year. What was it?
It's called a lie, Dev.
I forgot the terms. It was like $120 million deal. Yeah, $121 million extension.
I wonder how that's gonna work out over there. I'm super interested in how that team's gonna work.
Like a 5-year. It's like a 5-team trade. There's people going to Detroit. There's people going to all kinds of different places.
Yeah.
Gotta love the trade deadline shenanigans.
A 2-year, $121 million extension. That is
balling.
That's $60.5 million a year for Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
That's a lot.
I wonder how much cap space we cleared up.
Well, none. That's not how trades work. Well, well, hang on.
I think we clear up some.
Let me
not
rephrase.
much though.
You will free up space after the year is over.
Yeah, that's what I care about. I don't care about this year. This year's wash.
But you have Wiggins, and I don't know what his contract. His contract.
I was gonna say, doesn't he have a large contract?
He does, but I don't know. Let me look it up.
Yeah, look it up because that's.
I mean, did either team get any better?
No.
I mean,
Golden State might have.
Yeah, I think Golden State is.
Golden State have.
Yeah. All right, so Wiggins is signed through 2027 at 26, 28, and 30 million a year.
Ooh.
That's not good.
That's not good at all.
I thought that Miami would not trade Jimmy in hopes that he would leave and they would just have the money. Like you would just want the cap space. Essentially,
I want the cap space.
Let him walk for cap space. The fact that you just changed his cap space out for 3 years of Andrew Wiggins is not great.
Not great.
That's not great.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate.
Maybe Heat culture will turn Wiggins around.
Yeah.
Because you know how it goes. You know how it goes in Miami. Everybody goes to Miami. They drop 10 pounds. They get chiseled in abs, and then they start balling. Like that's everybody there.
And then they leave and show who they really are. That's usually how it happens. A couple players did that.
Wiggins is decent, but I don't think he's not that dude.
No, he's not.
I mean, Golden State right now is 25 and 24. Does this trade actually get them into the playoffs?
I think so. I think Jimmy Butler is actually playing good now. So
that's the thing. I mean, that ultimately that's it. Is Jimmy been like on cruise control, or can he flip it on? Because if he can turn it on, Golden State's a contender.
Yeah.
If what we've seen from Jimmy for the last 18 months is the real Jimmy Butler, then they're probably not much better than they were.
Right. Does he fit with the Warriors? Like
that is the question.
I think so. Oh, hang on. Garland just hit a 3 from the logo to win the game at the buzzer.
Your Cavs are really trying to do work, son.
We've lost 4 out of 5, I think. We're on a little mini losing streak. Everybody's freaking out.
Even you're 40 and 10.
Yeah.
Going into All-Star.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think the issue is that Cavs fans, remember they had, 12, 15 years of LeBron. I think Cleveland, the fans are very much like, if you're not going to win the title, we don't care. Like it's like you need to win it all or blow it up, you know.
Which is ridiculous because they only won one with LeBron.
Yeah.
But they lived on that line. Like they want. So what it is ultimately the media. They want them to trade. They want to trade because
Why?
they don't think they can actually beat like Boston in a 7-game series. Like they don't think they're right there. Whereas
That's unfortunate. There's really only one team that's doing better than them, and barely, and that's OKC at 39-9.
Yeah,
Like,
but we have a losing record against like the top. I think the top 6 teams in the league. We have a losing record against. So a lot of people are like they beat up on, on the loser teams, and then they lose to the better teams. I'm here for it. Like I'm here for the ride, because unlike a lot of teams, all of our core players are signed for many, many seasons ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Donovan's locked, Garland's locked, Allen's locked, Mobley's locked. They're all locked up. So I think you just get better with experience and time.
Yeah. Don't fuck up your nucleus.
Yeah, I don't think
they've
they
even got a really good road record. I mean, they're 16-6 on the road. Like that's still really good. 8-1 in the division. That people need to stop tripping.
Yeah.
Like Cleveland is a legit contender.
Let it ride out.
Yeah. I just got to figure out, can we get over the hump with Boston and get to the finals? Because I don't see anybody else.
You get the right injury luck. You get the right star
Yeah.
that gets upset and forces his way out of somewhere, and you're right there.
Yeah.
So I play the
1000%.
field. I play the field if I was Cleveland.
I would too.
So you want to talk about Luka?
Oh.
I don't understand how the Lakers do this. Like it makes no sense.
That's that Lakers privilege.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like just going all the way back, like how did they get Kareem? Like that doesn't make any sense. And they got him for nothing. They got Wilt for nothing. Like they somehow managed to do this regularly. Shaq. They were smart enough somehow to trade for Kobe. They got Shaq as a free agent. Like Orlando let him go. In the Paul Gasol trade, like again, peanuts. Freaking Popovich was so heated at that trade. Like he lost his mind. Like how do y'all keep letting them do this? It just makes no sense. Like I don't understand how do you let Luka go.
I didn't believe it when I woke up and saw it.
Nobody did.
Like I saw it in the Discord. I was like, that's fake. And then I
didn't even see it in the Discord.
Blue Sky, and I was like, oh, that's real. Like, oh no. Well, I was sick, so I wasn't even awake.
Was I. I was dead. JV texted me at like 10:30 at night, and I was already asleep, dead to the world. I woke up and I'm seeing this text, Luka to the left. I'm like, talking about this is what fever dream. And then sure enough, I opened Discord and there it is. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. This makes
pretty wild.
Absolutely no sense. And we got him for nothing.
Oh, that's not true. You got him for Davis. Davis is a star.
As far as I'm concerned, that's nothing. It's
I know you
oft injured player
Davis is a star
who's over the hill.
I mean, it's definitely a bad trade, but he is a star.
Oh,
you don't win a gold medal without him.
I don't care about a gold medal. It's the NBA. We don't win gold medals.
I'm just saying.
America doesn't even deserve gold medals. This point. We don't deserve to be on the world stage.
If Dallas had their bigs back and they were like legit, like last year, I low key kind of love the Dallas squad. Only in matchups though, right? Like everybody has to stay healthy and everything, of course. But like for like 1 year, for like this season, I kind of don't hate it. Like I kind of get what they're at least trying to do. But you never make that trade. Like it's just a crazy, like it's you've traded a decade of the franchise for a mediocre run at best.
Yeah, that's just it. Like the possibility of a run in the 100%. Next like 1 to 2 years. And are y'all really beating OK? Are you beating OKC?
Nope.
So.
If they were healthy this year, I'd like to see them. I'm not going to lie to you. They're so big. I know nobody cares because of the star power. I get it. But they're so big, like everywhere. Remember when Milwaukee did this a couple years ago where they were just like 6'8" across the board?
Yeah.
That's kind of Dallas right now. It's Kyrie and a bunch of giants at every position. I kind of want to see it.
They're old though. Like that's the thing. Like Clay is old.
Yeah, it's a 1 or 2
Kyrie
year
is
run.
kinda
It's a
old.
1 or 2 year run at best.
Is Davis going to be healthy enough to really make a difference? Is he going to gel with the
I forget what
team?
their center's name is. Lively or Gaffney or whatever. The kid they drafted. He was great last year. He's a great rim runner. Honestly, he's like a perfect fit next to Davis. He's a real big
Yeah, because
Well,
that allows Davis to play the 4.
what just
not the
happened,
5.
Delvin?
Ugh.
Del, what was that?
What?
I'm going to confirm it first. Yeah, I just got a message. I think this is true. Irv Gotti just passed away.
My wife asked me about that before we came down here, and I was like, okay.
Delvin looked like his whole life just moved.
Yeah, if you don't know who Irv Gotti is the CEO of Murder Inc. You know, legendary record producer for such a lot of Ja Rule's greatest songs. He was there brought Ashanti in the game. He's just like, you know.
I looked it up, and there's a Vibe.com article that says 50 Cent trolls Irv Gotti after learning he suffered another stroke, and now he's dead. That was last night. It was.
That's crazy. That sucks. You know, Murder Inc. had that legendary.
I'm with you, Delvin or Dev. Delvin looked like his whole life shifted.
Wow, it's shocking. He's young, 54.
I mean, niggas is dying left and right though. So
that's not as young as people think it is.
Young enough.
I mean, if he's suffering strokes, I mean, was he on that lean? Like what was
a lot of people that die in their 50s.
Yeah. That's shocking.
Rest in peace, Irv.
Rest in peace, Irv Gotti. He's created a lot of hits for a lot of people.
All right,
I kind of want to say thank you, but not really, because I don't really thank you for Ja Rule. Like,
well, he did more than hits for Ja Rule. Like Ja Rule, Mary J. Blige, Ashanti. Thank you for Ashanti.
I mean, yes, thank you for Ashanti. Now, can we get her away from Nelly?
No.
I mean, I would really hope we can get her away from him. She deserves better.
Yes.
Fucking sellout punk. Anyways.
Yeah. Oh no. Anyways. So how is this Lakers thing going to work is really my question. Because they got a bunch of guys that want the ball, that need the ball, and nobody plays defense at all. That team looks real bad.
Look, you just put LeBron at the 5 and call it a day.
That's not going to happen. He's never.
No, that's not happening at all.
No, not even a little bit.
I don't know. Lots of pick and roll, and we want to try and outscore everybody.
Lots of threes.
Because we are not playing a lick of defense.
And you're not going to. And you're going to out rebounded like 40-10.
Yeah,
we've got to get murdered on the boards.
We've got no defense. We've got a lot of offense that can be very sometimey. So,
yeah, not a lot of great shooting either.
Nope.
It's offense, but not great shooting. Not efficient shooting, maybe is a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
But it's still good for the Lakers. I think Luka's a great pickup. Even if it's not for now, for the future. Because LeBron's going to be going soon.
You think?
Yeah, this is definitely a future move. I mean, I think we have
like
LeBron
relatively
like another like 2 to 4 years.
Okay. Yeah. 2, 3, 4 years, probably like that.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely future.
But they gotta work around it now. Like they gotta try and win now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They're not just gonna roll out there with a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah, that's why you have Luka there. You have Luka there to slowly make that transition, kind of like how Wade did with LeBron in Miami.
Sure.
So he's like, this is going to be your team now soon. And, build around Luka. Have LeBron, because LeBron still plays great. So
yeah, he's still playing.
So it's like, all right.
Yeah. Like 25, 8, and 7 last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old ass, quote unquote, old ass LeBron. Still playing better than most of the league.
I've been telling that to D-Life for what, years?
Years, yes, years.
People wish to put up stats that LeBron puts up as a washed LeBron.
Yeah.
That's other star players. They get max contracts playing as good as a washed LeBron plays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma,
who just got traded too.
Right.
Yeah.
He made a career because like 1 year he put up numbers kind of like LeBron once.
Yeah,
and they weren't even that good.
Well enough. He only scored in transition. He could not score off his own anything.
Yeah. He wasn't 28, 8, and 8. He was like 19, 5, and 4.
Yeah,
and got paid
big. Yeah.
LeBron's doing this shit at like 41. It's insane.
Yeah. It's
a
like
monster.
D-Life sees LeBron plays and thinks he's Markieff Morris or something. Like that. I swear to God.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what is
That's
wrong
fact.
with you? What
That's
is wrong
facts.
with you?
Think
Yeah,
he's
this is
Bronny.
definitely future move. You try to do something. Can Austin Reeves turn into anything? Can Dalton Neck really do stuff? Can you build around that squad and do something with
How
Luka?
did
Bring
the
in a
Dallas
big.
not get Connect or somebody? Like, that's insane.
I don't know.
They didn't get every
I
pick that they offered. That's such a shitty trade.
It's a really
Like
bad
everybody around the league is like, what?
yeah, and it makes me wonder, what happened? Like, what
How does the
what do
league
we
not veto
know?
that trade?
For
So that's
real?
that's the Mavericks thing. That is the thing. What do you not know? I know nobody wants to give them any credit for it, but they've had Luka in their building
Mhm.
for years, and they were like, "Nah, we're good."
Right. That's the scary part. Like,
I don't know if that's a red flag, but it could be.
I feel like it's got to be, because you don't just trade away somebody of his caliber
They were
unless
like,
there's just
"Nah."
it ain't working. Like, it
Yeah.
really ain't working. So,
I wonder if now, but does this put a chip on his shoulder?
oh, absolutely.
Because I would not want a very motivated, angry Luka on the other side of the court for me.
Yeah,
That's
because
a problem.
he's out there having fun destroying people just for fun. You
Yeah,
get him angry, he's
imagine
going
he
for
goes-
90 against Dallas.
He goes full Kobe. I'm like, oh,
exactly.
no.
1000%. I can't wait to see him play against Dallas, because I feel like he is going to torch the shit out of them.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like, it's going to be bad.
It'd be interesting to see if he has that killer mentality.
I think he does, because he kills without the killer mentality. So you piss him off, and there have been times where we've seen Luka pissed off and he destroys you. So
Yeah.
he definitely has that switch in him.
He's a
So
monster.
he's toying with you just regular.
Speaking
You
of,
get him
you got
mad.
Luka, you got Reeves, you got Connect. You guys doing the Jazz thing? We were renaming them Los Angeles Jazz.
Yeah. You know, we're trying to create a new logo. That's basically what
I
it is.
can
We're like,
tell
let's
you.
find the new white guy
Like
and
Jerry
make him
West,
the new
like,
logo.
yeah.
We're gonna take Jerry West off, and here's the new white guy.
Good idea.
Yeah. We'll
Crazy
see what
week.
happens. Just, NBA nonsense. It's what happens. So
And the Spurs got Fox. Nobody cares, but like that's a giant
that's
move.
a huge move.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're gonna have Wemby and Fox for the next decade. That's a
Mhm.
problem. That's a real problem for
Mhm.
everybody.
Absolutely. And you got, Chris Paul to just kind of mentor and
Yeah.
teach. So, like, that's a problem.
And when
Like,
his
San
money comes off the
Antonio.
books, they're gonna be able to spend.
Yep.
They still got
San
picks.
Antonio's definitely building. They're building, and they're scary. This is what they do.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're going to be good. You still got OKC and like their plethora of picks and talent. So they're going to be a problem. The West is the West again. Like, they're slowly becoming just this dominant force of shenanigans.
And the East is gonna be the East.
Yeah, the East is good.
East is good, but
East is top heavy.
Yeah, we're top
like
heavy,
they've always been.
Like they've always been.
The
Exactly.
top is really good though.
Yeah, the top, the three best teams in the NBA in the East, and then like, all right, the West, every team is like the best. That's always been. 1 through 8 in the West is always really good. In the East, like, all right, we got 3 good teams.
1 through 4.
Yeah, we got 3.
Everybody else is just barely above 500.
Yeah.
If that.
3, maybe 4 good teams.
Yeah,
500 teams from five down.
Yeah,
basically. Oh man, it's so funny how that happens. But yeah, this is shaping up to be an interesting year to see what everything turns into after All-Star break. See which trades pan out, which ones don't.
Yeah.
So thank you for the good times, NBA. Thank you very much.
Busy trade
That was
season.
so crazy to wake up to. Just complete disbelief.
yeah.
All right. Delvin, you go first. What the hell you been up to?
Oh, not much. I played a game. I'm still playing a game.
We do that.
Yeah, I'm playing. We play some
he's on a
video
roll.
games.
We play
I
a
am the-
video game.
Yeah, I am the sum. I'm playing. I'm getting back into playing A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead, and I'm liking it a lot. when I first played, I didn't get too much time with it, but I done got past the whole tutorial section of it and stuff like that, and got to the good part where you have to like hide from the monsters and stuff. And I got to tell you, it reminds me a lot of Alien Isolation in a good way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, because you have to like sneak through areas, and like you can use like, because the whole game like the movie The Quiet Place, you have to use noise to your advantage.
D-Life basketball season was dead to you when the season started.
Yes,
basically.
Yes,
I've been trying to tell you this, man.
Yes. But yeah. What I like about the game a lot is it kind of takes some of the conventional stuff about video games and kind of like toss them aside. In terms of like, for example, in most stealth video games, when you're hiding from something, you have to go hide in the bush and something like that. The game specifically tells you, don't do that because the bush makes noises, and if they hear that, they will kill you.
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
So you have to find like different ways to get past these creatures and things like that, and it's really cool because the whole storyline is you play this pregnant asthmatic girl. Yes, this is a real thing.
Perfect.
the best thing to be in this
Great
universe.
For the apocalypse.
Yes, pregnant and asthmatic.
You might as well just make some noise.
Yeah, and what happens? And she's staying in this bunker with her her dad. It's like this group. It's her dad, her boyfriend's, well, her husband who died, mother, and these other people. Her husband who died, mother, is like her mother-in-law, like runs the group, and she blames her for her husband's death. So she's kind of catty to her and stuff like that. And she doesn't know. And then she finds out she's pregnant, and she kind of just locks her in this room, and isolates her. Like, because you're not going to kill another one of my kids. That's her whole thing. And the bunker gets attacked. You have to escape. You escape out the bunker. So now you're going to this other bunker that's on the other side of town to meet up with your dad. And as you're doing this, it's telling the story of like the backstory of what happened and stuff, like the Quiet Place movie. And you're walking through these different areas, and you're trying to get through quietly as you can, because there's certain areas, well, all the areas have the creatures. And if you make too much noise, they'll straight up come and kill you. Well, they give you warning. It's not like Alien Isolation. One of the things I didn't like about Alien Isolation was you never know when the alien's going to come behind you. Sometimes the deaths feel cheap. But with A Quiet Place, what it does is it gives you like this little sensor that tells you like, all right, you're making too much noise. And once you make too much noise, you hear like a dramatic noise, like a musical cue, and you'll see the monster come in the area. And if you make too much noise, then they'll come kill you. And they'll like automatic. It's not an auto kill thing. You can try to run, but they're of course going to catch you. And they have things where you can like try to get away from the monster. Like they'll have like, you can throw bottles and make noises other places. And it's a really fun, interesting game. I don't think either one of you will like it, by the way, because it's a super stealth game.
Yeah, I'm not playing that.
I like stealth, but I need to be able to murder things with.
You can't murder. You're not murdered.
Yes,
you are getting murdered. It's like I said, it's more Alien Isolation.
I'm not trying to play hide and seek. I need to be able to fight and murder the things that are trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want agency.
Yes.
Yes.
This is more survival. And the cool thing about it is you have these other sections that you play that's before the outbreak that kind of tells the other story. That kind of feels like Life is Strange almost. Where you're like walking around this little hub area, you're talking to the family members, and you're getting a little bit of a side story. You're going through their house, and you're like, oh, look about this record. I know your mom was into this record. And they're just kind of fleshing out the story. There's a really cool aspects of that. So far, I like the game a lot. I've seen the game get very mixed reviews. Like I saw someone say it's terrible, and saw someone say it's pretty good. I think, in my opinion, it falls like in the 7 area. It's good. It's enjoyable, but I know like if you don't have the patience for these type of games, this ain't for you. But if you like the Quiet Place movie, I think this is a good representation of what that movie is.
So I'd rather, this is one of those things where it's just like you're not really playing much. You're just hiding and waiting for things to pass by as the story happens around you.
Well, no, you're playing because it's like, you're walking around the environment and stuff like that, and you see the creature, you have to maneuver around it. And there's certain areas where the creature is just there. So you have to figure out a way to get around the creature while they're moving, while they're patrolling the area.
Is that the only gameplay aspect? Is there anything else that you're doing gameplay besides hide?
That's other aspects. You have to like the main thing is that you're maneuvering through the area. So you have to like certain areas are blocked off. You have to find ways
Those
to
puzzles
unblock
and
it.
stuff.
Yeah, kind of a little bit puzzle. It's light puzzles, like you have to get planks and make like a bridge for you to walk across. And one of my favorite things to do is sometimes there's these glass windows that you have to break open with like a brick. But when you do that, the creature comes towards you because they heard the noise and it makes the creature more alert. You have to figure out how to break the window without them being alerted towards you and trying to come at you.
Let me throw the brick at the creature. Stupid.
No,
creature.
that's not a good idea at all.
I just want to fight.
Yeah, you're not fighting this game. But overall, I think it's a really good game. If you want something I don't think it's that long, too. I think it's like 5 or 6 hours. If you want something that's 5 or 6 hours with an interesting story and you like the Quiet Place, this might be for you.
Cool. Do you have any Florida man tales to regale us with this week?
Nah, not really.
Oh, no.
I'm going out of town Saturday. So
Okay.
I might see snow.
Town.
Yeah, I'm going to New York, so I might see snow for the first time.
Nice.
Well, besides like cocaine, but like actual snow.
Yeah, actual snow, not.
Yeah. not that white stuff. The cold white stuff. I'm actually excited, man. I had like bought me a thermal. I've never been anywhere that was colder than 50.
Wow.
So I bought me a thermal.
75 today.
Yeah.
It was 50 out here.
It's hot
as hell
55.
Out here. Yeah. It's very cold and very rainy out here. I can't believe you've never seen snow. There's enough places around you that get snow for you to have been somewhere that has seen. I've been in snow.
Not really.
How have you not been in snow?
I have to like go way up to Jacksonville or some shit and see a little bit of snow. I'm not doing that. Jacksonville's actually far.
How far?
7 hours?
5 hours? Oh yeah.
Who's driving that?
Snow. I guess I'm privileged that we can drive to Big Bear in like 4 or 5 hours and then come back and go to the beach and all in the same day.
Yeah,
it's great.
And I've never been to New York neither, so it's really cool. Staying in Manhattan.
I love New York.
How long are you gonna be out there?
I hope you have fun.
Just a day. Come back Sunday.
Just
Sunday,
a day.
Just a day. Yeah. What the?
Yeah. Not going for long.
What the hell?
This is not Vegas. It's not a turnaround trip.
What are you doing while you're there?
Yeah, what are you going up there for?
Having fun, man. Living life.
Now, what are you doing? What is the itinerary?
So there's no sleep gonna be had, right? Because
of course, you go hard.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, what are you doing for just a day in New York like that?
You're gonna go to Broadway?
Probably not. Broadway's not my thing.
You should go to a comedy club, or like 5 of them.
I'm gonna go to I'm going to Times Square. I know that for a fact.
Of course,
I want to see Times Square.
Sure.
I'm probably gonna.
But
I'm quite sure this.
It's worth going to see.
It my hotel just like it does in all the videos.
Don't eat there. Don't eat it.
I wasn't planning on eating there. I'm gonna probably eat some New York pizza. Gotta do that because everybody tells me that New York pizza is really good.
Like you got to get outside of the tourist bubble though, if you're gonna do that.
Are you going to Harlem
to go see Luke Cage? Sure. I'm staying in Manhattan. That's gonna be pretty cool.
Okay.
I'd eat there. Get pizza there.
It says I'm not too far from. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not too far from the Trade Center.
Right.
Like 10 minutes away, so I'm definitely going there.
That's really cool. You should go.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get to like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but nightlife, man. New York is like nowhere you've ever been at 2 a.m. Like that's really like where it really hits different.
I'm gonna be out all night anyway.
Everything is fucking open. It's like more things are open than even.
Yeah,
like,
it's nonstop.
Yeah, like that's the best. That's the fun part.
That's what I'm excited about.
I mean, like
go out there.
Grand Central. I mean, every time I go, usually when we go to Broadway because my wife. And listen, I've gone to 3 Broadway shows and they were all amazing. So like, I'm not gonna knock it. You should go. It's incredible. It's good stuff. But I'm all about the comedy clubs. It's like the comic, stand up comedy capital of the
I
world.
might do that. Might go a little.
It's a lot of fun.
That might be cool to end the night off, go to a comedy club, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place to get drinks, sit down. Like they'll let you in for free. There's always people handing out. Like they're trying their best to get anybody to come into the doors most nights.
Yep.
So like they'll definitely they'll give you free drinks. They'll do all kinds of shit to get you in. And especially in Times Square, you're undoubtedly somebody will hand you a ticket for a comedy club.
Yeah, or rob me. Either or.
No, my boss said that, and I rode the subway and every. Yeah, it's actually.
That's not New York.
It's far safer in New York City than it is in Atlanta. Like far
safer in New York than it is in LA for sure.
100%. Like, I wouldn't be too worried about that.
So
everybody's too busy minding their own business.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens, but that's right. People are fucking on the go and shit. Like I was never too concerned about that.
Yeah, New York is literally like nonstop,
and especially
everybody's moving and going.
In the touristy areas, there are cops fucking everywhere. Yeah. They're all over the place.
Well, that's where I'm going to be this time.
So
I'm in the tourist areas.
Yeah, in Times Square, you're going to see a shit ton. There's a cop on every corner. At least when I was there.
Yeah, cop cars. Like they're literally. You play Spider-Man, you see all them cops. That's not an exaggeration.
Yeah,
it's not an exaggeration.
Like
at all.
I never forgot. I told the first time we went. I told my wife, I was like, I don't think I've ever felt safer anywhere in the world at 2 o'clock in the morning than New York City.
Yep.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, that's got to be the safest. Yeah, that's got to be the safest place in the world. At 2 o'clock in the morning, for sure.
Yep. So yeah,
I'm excited.
Live it up. Enjoy, man. Enjoy.
Might throw some snowballs at somebody.
Go to Nintendo New York and buy me and Rebecca some swag.
I might get you some swag, Donnie.
Yeah, you should. If I was there, I would buy you some swag. I mean, like you're there.
Where is it at?
It's off Rockefeller Center. If you're gonna go to Rockefeller Center, where like the big Christmas tree and everything is, if you're gonna be around there, then you should swing by.
Let me see.
In New York.
You should go ice skating too.
That's not happening.
I want to get a TikTok of him.
Can I skate?
Ankle broken or something.
I've never ice skated before.
No.
Yeah, I've never been in snow.
You can't ice skate.
You don't need snow to ice skate. Ice skate rinks exist without snow.
In Miami?
No, there's no ice skate rinks in Miami.
That sounds.
I've never seen one. I went to a roller skate. Roller rink. Plenty of time before.
If you can roller skate, you should almost be able to ice skate.
Probably not.
Don't they have a hockey team in Florida? There's ice rinks somewhere.
The Florida Panthers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Tampa Bay Lightning?
Yeah. Y'all got y'all got two hockey teams. There's hockey out there. Find a goddamn ice skating rink.
When the Panthers were here, I didn't even go to their goddamn game.
I wouldn't go ice skating. I wouldn't do that. Don't do that. It's a waste of your time.
Well, yeah. Why would I go to ice skating in New York? I'm not doing that.
But definitely find dude, the food is great. Don't spend all your time just eating pizza. Like get off on the sides and stuff. Get into some of these delis and get yourself like a real fucking like sandwich or hot dog or like a salad. Like it's the best. It's very good.
That might be a good idea.
When I was staying, we stayed in Times Square once, and right off like a block and a half away from where we were staying was just like this deli convenience store, and in the middle of it they had a salad like sandwich bar that literally was 24/7. There was a person there at all hours, and I got like the best salad I've ever had. Like they grilled a steak and everything and put on fucking salad to toss it like 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, this is legit. I could legit love it here. Like this is amazing. Stuff like that's super fun. So definitely I would tell you to walk the extra blocks. Don't eat at chains. Like take in New York food.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm gonna try everything I can. I'm excited for the food.
Yeah. Find like a top ramen place. Like ask your concierge, like where's the best ramen place near you? Like definitely, yeah, take into some of that stuff. Really good, like world cuisine. And I love New York City.
They told me don't rent a car. They just said you don't need to.
No.
Absolutely
You can't drive.
not.
Absolutely not.
No, you can't drive in New York. They have the greatest subway system ever. You will get wherever you need to go.
Yeah.
Trust me.
On your
There's
Tuesday.
absolutely no reason to get no damn car.
Yeah.
There's
It's-
people live in New York and don't own cars. There's
And
no
it's-
point.
It's super easy to navigate. You spend the sad part is that you're only be there for a day. It's like you feel like I spent like a day getting my bearings, and then once you get your bearing, you can go all over that island back and forth, and like it's nothing. Like it's nothing.
I can't imagine just being there for a day. That just
it's almost like it's like you can't see it all. Like that's not enough time.
That's all I need.
No, it's not.
That's all I need. You'll be surprised at what stuff I get done in a day. I get a remarkable lot of stuff done in a day when I don't have to be bothered by no one. I get around.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We can't wait for the adventures of Delphin in New York.
Also,
pictures.
Also, I am the type of person who, once I've gotten that day done and just like day 2 comes, like, all right, bro, I'm ready to go.
I'm that person too. I'm always been. My wife makes me. I'm always like the leave early, cut things short person because I like being at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even in New York, like I want a good like 5 days. By like day 5, I'm ready to like probably leave. But like I need at least like 3 solid days.
I was gonna say three would be what I would want. Yeah.
I did that in North Carolina.
2 times I've been there, it's been 3 to 5 days.
I did that in North Carolina. When I was in North Carolina, I was like at day 3.
North Carolina. That ain't the same.
And I love North Carolina.
That ain't the same. North Carolina is a place you go for a
North
day.
Carolina, New York.
North Carolina
don't know.
is my kind of place.
Oh my God.
I like North Carolina a lot.
Okay.
Like, God damn, these streets are clean. And it's peaceful.
That's true. Yeah.
It's clean as fuck there.
It's pretty
but that's not a place you go to like visit and do things.
No.
Oh, I did things there. I had fun. Lots of fun.
You went to what? A con or something?
No, I went. I never told this story on this show.
You did.
You did. I just don't remember because
we went to a Heat game up there.
Was like a bachelor party or something? You went?
Oh no, it was just us high school friends getting together, hanging out again because we haven't hung out together as a group like in 20 years.
Hey guys, we haven't seen each other in 20 years. Let's all meet up in North Carolina.
Yeah, they were like, let's go to a Heat game.
That's wild.
Let's
go see the Charlotte Hornets play basketball.
And beat the
Delvin,
Heat.
You've got some shitty friends.
the shitty part was I told them.
Even Daniel would treat you better than that. Like that is some shit. Right there,
I told them, let me pick the tickets. Now let me pick tickets. They picked the worst fucking tickets they could possibly got. We were sitting in the rafters like fucking Sting.
Oh no! Oh no!
Like this is fucking awful. Like
that sucks.
Like we could have, and you know the Hornets weren't that great then. So the ticket, I'm quite sure we could have got way better tickets for like
not that great now. So
yeah, so we could, like for $50, you could have put like $20 more with these tickets. We could have been sitting way closer than what we're sitting.
I
right
legit
now,
forget Charlotte has a team out there. They're the Cleveland Browns of the NBA. Like they just eternally suck.
Yeah, pretty much. But I had a lot of fun. We went and got some.
Charlotte is a pretty town.
It's nice.
Yeah.
What was it? It was
yeah, been there a few times.
Jerk pizza, which was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of stuff we got there, man. I love Charlotte. Charlotte's
been there
nice.
for a few conferences.
Went to a couple of nightclubs there, which I never do. Slapping. Goddamn beautiful women in that place. You
was spitting. You was head on a swivel.
Great. I was single.
You need to come to Atlanta. Nothing against Charlotte, but I kind of think that those things don't compare. Yeah,
if I go to Atlanta,
we are world famous for that sort of attraction.
Nobody is like, let's go to North Carolina.
Nobody
except for Delvin. He's like, New York, okay, cool, but North Carolina,
North Carolina. Let me tell you,
North Carolina they got some women. That's all I'm gonna say. They got some attractive people in North Carolina.
They got attractive people everywhere. So
that's not true. That is absolutely not true.
It really is.
That is absolutely. Have you ever been to Davie, Florida?
I'm sure they got a couple of people in Davie, Florida.
Podcast tonight.
It is whatever we want it to be.
No. The people who are in Davie who are attractive are not from Davie.
That's fine, but they're
They
still
are
there.
they're just visiting. They are leaving shortly.
I'm not going to Miami, John 32.
Yes,
I've
Miami's
been
full
there.
of
I've been there, done that. I'm good.
Miami's full of beautiful people too. None of their body parts are theirs. Well, I guess they're
You're
theirs.
right.
They bought them. They paid for them, so I guess
Yeah,
they're
They
They
paid for
own
those
them.
bodies.
Yeah.
They own them. Yeah.
still
They
paying
are
for
the
them.
owner. They have a permit. They have a title.
Yes,
I've been to South Beach. I know what that's like.
South Beach are overrated.
I agree.
Fort
No,
Lauderdale
I've
Beach
been
is
there.
fun.
Fort Lauderdale Beach is boring. It's
just
it's fun.
the whole town is quiet as hell. This is like
Yeah.
the 8th time he's tried to make Fort Lauderdale a thing.
It's
I've
fun.
been to Fort Lauderdale
You
many times.
Are old.
Beach.
You're old
Yes.
ass. If you don't
Who is
grab
denying that?
if you don't grab like a wafer and a peppermint patty and sit the fuck down
I wish we had some wafers here.
with your
God
Werther's original fucking opinions.
Yeah,
Those candies suck.
I don't disagree with him because I am also old and I have been to Fort Lauderdale many times because that is where the cruise port is. So
Yeah.
we will go.
Yeah.
We'll get there a day early. We'll enjoy the
so-
nice,
yeah, like,
calm,
The
chill
whole fucking
beach.
town closes at like 5:30.
Yep. We
You
stroll
can't-
out to the
The only
beach.
place
The
you
water
can
is
eat at
nice.
night after the sun goes down in Fort Lauderdale is a Waffle House.
Depends on what part of Fort Lauderdale you're at. There are some areas that are not like that at all. But there
Yeah,
are some.
we're just we're by the port because we're just there to get on the ship and go on our 7-day cruise.
I'm usually by the beach.
Well, we're on the beach because the beach is close to the port.
No, they have other places that's not necessarily near the beach. That's on the port.
Well, yeah, but I'm there to be on the beach to then go to the ship. So I'm always we're stay on beachfront property when we've gone beachfront hotels. So you just walk onto the beach and
walk onto the beach.
get in the water that has no waves. That'll never be normal to me. The fact that like
No
it's
waves.
just
Still.
no way because the Pacific is insane. Like you're going to get destroyed by the beach. So going to Fort Lauderdale and then going to the beach and being like, it's warm and I can just walk
It's just like a
out
lukewarm
as
water.
far as I want,
Yeah.
and there's no surfing. It's just it was so
Might see a shark.
I bitch to my
mind-blowing.
wife all the time when we go to the beaches because I so badly want like that Pacific beach experience. I want to go get smacked by like a 15-foot wave so bad.
No, you don't.
I just want to go
Bruh.
jump in like these giant waves. It like makes me so happy, and they're never ever here. I have to go swimming like when hurricanes are coming, and my wife's freaking out that like I'm gonna get pulled away, and it's like the only time I can actually find. And the water is so
Ugh,
nasty.
jellyfish.
Like on the Georgia coast, it's all like gray and mixed up, marshy. Or you like in the Gulf Coast, it's just like still, and you feel like you're in like a kiddie pool. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate
At
lot
least
of
Fort
pee in it.
Lauderdale, the water was very clear. Like you could see
yeah,
fish swimming
yeah, that's
around.
true.
Yes.
You don't get that and go to
You ever
Venice
got to,
Beach.
like,
Oh,
that-
it's filthy.
You ever go to like the Panhandle and you get like some of that water? You're like, oh,
I've never been there.
it
Never
makes
been to
you
that.
nasty, like, oh,
Yeah.
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 Jellyfish Dev. That's his new nickname.
No, he's talking about jellyfish and how much they suck.
No, they're great. That's Dev's new
Jellyfish are
nickname.
the fucking
Jellyfish Dev.
worst. Jellyfish Dev. Whatever. It's also
Dev's a
correct.
family member.
Dibs.
We have no
Yeah, no.
business in South Beach.
Nope. Been married since 23. South Beach, I go with my wife and we just kind of laugh.
Well, June,
Just-
I'm not married anymore. Haven't been for quite a while.
so you should just live on South Beach.
Don't have to have a house.
I didn't literally mean live on the beach.
No,
like
no,
just,
no. I don't want to. I can't. You don't live on South Beach. You go out there and you leave as soon as possible.
then why go?
I can't say that on the podcast, Dev. We're in enough trouble after this.
Are we?
Yeah. Speaking of that, like, what the hell did y'all do?
I didn't do anything.
My DMs
Yeah,
are
he
full.
wasn't there. He was not. Delvin was not a part of that conversation.
No, not even a
It
little
was
bit.
literally me and Indio Techno. He posted something about the freaking Kansas City. I'm like, Kansas City doesn't have fans. Like, stop it. You're lying. They don't exist. It's not real. I hate Kansas City. And I mean, for me, it's personal because the last 2 times my team gone to Super Bowl, they lost to Kansas City. So I hate them. So we're
That
just
sounds like
going
your
back
team
and forth, talking trash. It's definitely the team's fault. It's the coach's fault. It's the coach's fault for sure. Like, because we were up. We shouldn't have lost those games. But So it was just like the back and forth of just, the random trash talking. Daniel comes in with it's a Taylor Swift effect. So then everything
Goddamn, Daniel.
to Taylor Swift. And
you didn't got me in trouble. You got Delvin in
I
trouble.
mean, for the most part, we didn't. I personally don't think that we said anything that was terrible. The biggest thing was it was like we don't find Taylor Swift attractive, but she's the upgrade for Kelsey. Like we gave her all the props in the world. Like you went like it was like you went from whatever
anymore.
that chick is
I've already
to
lost.
that chick.
This is me then. Like I clicked in that channel once, saw the knot, and I was like muted. Like I will see this later. Like I'm not here. I'm not watching. I'm not reading all this shit.
Much like I was with the Strong South channel.
Yeah.
I saw that nonsense and they're like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all it was. It was really mostly us just talking trash about Kansas City.
Rebecca quit the band. We'll see if she shows up this weekend. Might be a solo show.
I can't come.
Call it a fireside chat.
I will probably be on a plane.
It might be.
Hopefully that plane lands. I hope you get a black pilot because they're going to do everything they have to land that plane.
Yeah.
What do you think about landing the plane or the color of the pilot? What a fucking wild outland! Like what?
Yeah.
Listen,
insanity.
We can't do that. We can't do that.
Insanity.
Yeah. Hi, Garrett. Want to come back to the Nintendo Shack?
Hey, Garrett. Yeah, like shack opening.
See you Sunday.
See you Sunday, bro.
Oh my god.
So Donnie, you were dying last week. What have you been up to in
Who cares?
The meantime?
We got a long show to get through. I don't.
Yeah.
Who cares? I'm playing Life is Strange. I haven't played it since I talked about it on Shack. So I haven't played anything since I talked about it on Shack. I've been working and like getting resurrected because I was like fucking really sick. Like really sick. like really sick. Like it was in the world of hurt for a couple of days there. I was like, oh no.
Damn.
That's twice COVID has licked me. Like bad.
Oh, you had COVID?
Yeah, I had COVID.
Yep. I didn't realize I didn't know you had COVID.
Daughter got COVID, wife got COVID, and I got COVID like 3 days later.
Jesus.
And I had a fever for like 12 straight hours. I told the story on Shack. Like I usually sleep basically almost naked, if not naked. And I have like a giant air conditioner and a giant fan, like a shop fan, like a barrel fan, an industrial fan. Because I'm hot natured when I sleep. So I'm always trying to cool myself off. I cannot sleep if it's like 74 degrees. Like that's the hottest it goes. Like I just can't. So it's really crazy for me to ever feel cold. I had a fever. It was 105, 100.5. Sorry, 100.5.
I'll say, sir?
Yeah, no, 100.5. And it was for like 12 hours.
Wow.
And during that time, I had the chills and was freezing. I was wearing like 2 pairs of jogging pants, like a hoodie and a sweater and shirt. And like I was in the bed under every blanket I had, literally freezing. I was like my hands, my toe, like I'm freezing. Like I cannot get warm to save my life. And achy, God, super, super achy. The only reprieve that I could find was taking a bath. I took like 5 baths that day, like that night.
Wow.
Because like I would get out and I would dry off and I would try to lay back down and it would all come back. And like it was just the only time I could feel good as if I could like lay in the bath in like hot water. So I was out of it, man. Like I was not having it. I remember I messaged you guys. I was like, I feel better. Like I think I'll make the show tonight. And then I woke up and I was like, no, this is awful. I don't feel good at all. This is you can end this now. And you guys know how much I've like podcasted through things and I was like, absolutely, that's the least of my concerns right now is the podcast.
We would have kicked you off anyway. We'd have kicked you off. Like, you're not doing this. Get out of here.
And even since like this weekend, and this week, like I've tried to get back to it. And like I've noticed multiple times, like try to walk up the stairs, try to walk across the street, and like I'm breathing heavy. Like I got it, like deep. I still feel it today. I feel it. So, but no, I don't care to talk about anything that I've been playing. I got the car out. I shined Dizzy up. I haven't taken Dizzy out in months. And Sunday, I think it was everything, like the world. Like that stuff weighs on me in a way that I don't like. And like I had to mute the channel and I was like, I can't. Like I can't. It just makes me hate everything, and I get in such a bad mood. And I was like, I just can't. So I did the thing that like brings me joy. I went and washed my car, and I turned the music on. Like I stopped listening to podcasts and stopped turning YouTube and stopped looking at channels, and I went on a drive. And I went and bought like some weed and some video games. I bought some Turok games. I bought some 64 games, and like that's all I did, to kind of come back from that. So, but yeah, just taking it easy, playing Switch. That's it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm still on the road to recovery with whatever the hell is going on with my whole ear. Apparently, I have an inflammation of the eustachian tube, like Ray said. I finally got to see an ear, nose, and throat specialist on Tuesday, and he prescribed me basically the same medication that I had taken the week before. So we'll see if it does anything. Like it still hurts. So I have a follow-up appointment with him like next Tuesday, and I told him that like, yeah, I also have sleep apnea. He's like, you got a CPAP, don't you? I was like, yeah. He's like, he's like, they constantly want to get you on a sleep study. He's like, let me look in your nose. He's like, oh, this is why your nasal passageway is like completely like just barely there. So you can't breathe.
Yeah.
He's like, we can get you an outpatient surgery that will, one, take care of the sleep apnea, and two, will also
That's
help
really
relieve
good.
this stuff. So I was
That's
like,
super nice.
why couldn't this have been the conversation?
There's no money in it.
Because you want to just get me on the CPAP.
The money is the treatment, not the
Yeah.
solution.
So I hate our medical system so much.
So let's get this straight. You being American is going to get better treatment for your sleep apnea than Haley, who lives in Canada.
Perhaps.
What I just told her, well, tell you.
Sleep sideways.
Yeah, what they told her. You need to buy a pillow. That's what they told her.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, did she see an ear, nose, and throat specialist? Maybe that's the difference. Like, because a lot of the times it's who you see. Like, if you don't see the right doctor that knows what they're looking for, then you're screwed. But apparently, this doctor was like, "Oh, yeah, here's your problem. It's a very simple fix. We can solve this for you, so you don't have to wear the mask anymore." And that would be great.
That'd be nice.
So,
I just stopped wearing mine. I can't. We talked about it. I just couldn't do it. I tried.
I've gotten so used to it.
I can't.
Yeah.
I tried. I think I tried for like 100 days. And I think I woke up with that mask on one time. I got through the night one time.
Go see ENT. Go see ENT and see if you can get the same surgery.
I just can't. Yeah. Well, mine isn't that. Mine is like I said, it's my weight, but it's my uvula. I have a giant uvula in the back of my throat. And my doctor wants to cut it out. And they told me, they're like, we can do it. You won't be able to talk for maybe 45, 60 days.
Wow.
And I was like, that's not happening. Fuck it.
What did you tell them? Like,
I can't sleep with a bad sleep. They're like, you could die soon. I'm like, that's not as bad as you think it is.
Like, I am a podcaster.
Listen,
I cannot not talk.
Listen, I know it's dark and everything, but like, what am I trying to stay around for? So I can work more? Like, nah, I'm good. That's fine.
Kids, Donnie. They love you.
And guess what? They'll be better taken care of.
We love you.
They'll be better off. Like they'll be better taken care of.
That's not how that works, Donnie.
Listen, it's how it works. Everybody. So it's fine. It's just it's just not that big a threat.
What are me and Dev gonna do on Wednesday, Donnie? Stop being fucking selfish.
I don't think it's happening soon, man. They're just like, like your life may not be as long. You may not be 80. Like that's fine. Like I'm like
75 is good. Like 75 is
totally fine.
Yeah.
Come on.
No.
What are we all trying to stay here forever for? Like, come
on. I like life.
No. He lived a full life.
Fuck that.
He's done the things. His kids are well taken care of. They had a dad their entire like young lives.
No, they need a dad more than that.
75 and not till 80. Hey.
Thank you, Bruce, for helping. Me and Sean Caprice trying to keep Donnie alive, and Dev's like, oh, this is time.
I get it.
See, you get it. Like,
I
been there, done it. You get it. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. You're like, well, like this might. I'm like, well,
I mean, I seriously think about like all this going on. I'm like, I'm glad my mom didn't have to see any of this stuff.
Well, that's a good point.
It's not quite the threat you think it is.
So I've got life insurance, so they'll be taken care of.
Good point. Do you like my podcasting then? We're all 75 still sitting here with
Possibly.
our nine viewers.
Yes.
Possibly.
Wednesday nights.
These 7
We've got
viewers,
our
dead.
kids are watching us podcast and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
watching us podcast. I don't give a fuck.
they
about us,
might.
man.
They might. You never know. But yeah, I haven't played it. I haven't played a single game. I've done nothing. I have contemplated playing a lot of different games, and I've played nothing. I did
Sean,
get a
you're
2
taking it
terabyte
so
hard
far.
drive.
Sean doesn't have to. You don't have to take it that far, buddy.
Yeah,
It's
come on.
fun. We're having fun.
Come on,
Definition of fun, Sean.
Jesus
you know
Christ.
how ridiculous we are. Like,
Right.
we are nonsense. You have to understand that you're gonna get the nonsense. We have to laugh through the tears.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you, Dev.
shenanigans.
Dev gets
Yeah, like we're gonna have some dark comedy
See,
because we're
have a
dumb.
mojito.
Y'all,
and a laugh.
y'all didn't got what I was picking up. 5 viewers, your core audience is older. You guys, we're gonna miss you, D Life. Now that's how you do it, folks.
All right, enough of our shenanigans and nonsense. Donnie, there's news to be talked about, so let's talk about it.
Let's get into it. All right, so this is all old news by now, which I'm actually glad about. So we had a time to really like digest and sit with this, and now we can actually talk about it. So last week, a day after you guys recorded, a day after the Xbox Direct, that was awesome. We had Doom and all these things that were announced. Phil Spencer went on those podcasts and he talked about his multi-platform stuff, which you guys talked about. And then the next day, they're like, Forza Horizon 5 is coming to PlayStation 5. So they hit that shit immediately.
Yeah.
They're like, you excited about Doom? You excited about South of Midnight? Good, because Forza's multi-platform. It's being ported to PlayStation by Panic Button. It will include all DLC packs and expansions, and crossplay will be available for all Forza 5 players across consoles, Xbox, PS5, as well as PC. In the wake of that, after Phil's comments, after his interviews, after we're going to keep doing it, we're going to do modern multi-platform, the rumor floodgates fucking just burst open. Now, if there's an Xbox game out there, there's a rumor about it being multi-platform. So Vandal reported on Flight Sim that Fable not only is going to be multi-platform, but it's coming day one to other platforms. Like, it'll launch as a multi-platform game. They're also saying that Killer Instinct, Starfield are on the way. Those have been corroborated by The Verge. Ecstasis, who was the first person to say, hey, Forza's coming to PS5, he says that Gears Collection is real, and it will also be coming to PlayStation 5 and Switch 2. So I tried to think about how do we discuss this, because we've talked a lot about Xbox over the years, and I wrote down some questions that I think at least will steer us in, I think, a good direction. Okay. So there's lots to think about here, right? So the first thing I want to ask you is Xbox third party now, and why are they doing this? How did we get here? Why do we want to do this? And this really stemmed from, I posted in the Xbox chat. I don't think I could pull it up quickly because I think there's been a lot of conversation in Xbox land for a while, but I posted Phil's comments over the years. Somebody went and took his little, I just found it.
Yeah.
So here you go. Let me read this. In 2021, not that long ago, this all is happening in one console generation. In 2021, I quote, if you're an Xbox customer, the thing that we want you to know is that this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
We're buying these studios, we're buying Bethesda, and this is why. This is our new mission. So in 2022, we get Sadia, who we're in the courtrooms, we're doing all the stuff about Activision, and Sadia says, hey, if this is about competition, if PlayStation's this is about competition, he said, let us have competition. Let us compete. That was 2022. Again, not that long ago. 2023, it shifts. We're not in the business of out consoling Sony or Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so like suddenly it's like, wait a minute, something's happened. 2024. This was last year. You guys should remember this one very well. Phil Spencer. So 4 games. No promise beyond that. If you're on other platforms and you see these 4 games, don't take it as a signal that everything is coming. It's not, says Phil Spencer. A year ago.
Yeah.
2025, to keep games off other platforms is not a path for us.
Well, we know now.
So the reason that I asked this is Xbox, in all of their references to this, they keep calling themselves multi-platform. And I wonder why there's such there seems to be a concentrated effort not to call themselves third party. And does anybody agree with that? Is that just a me thing, or is there maybe a reason why you think they're maybe doing that?
I mean, maybe because they're both, because they're not just third party. They still have a platform. It's not
Right.
like, Sega, where their console died out and they just went third party and only make games now. Like, Microsoft owns a ton of studios that make games, but they also have a console for you as well as the PC ecosystem. So when you think about it, any PC that runs Windows is still part of one of their platforms. So they technically are multi-platform in the way that they've got their console, they've got their streaming stuff, they've got the PC, they're putting their games on other consoles. So yeah, they're multi-platform. They're not really just a third party. They're more than that.
Yeah.
You can't be third party if you publish your own games on your console, right? That takes away from the idea of being third party, right?
I don't think so.
Because isn't the whole idea of a first party game being that Sony makes this game and it's on PlayStation?
Which is why I don't think it really matters about the console. I think it's about the software, and I think the third party. But I feel like there's like some negative connotation that maybe they feel like it'll adversely impact sales. And I'm like, yeah, that's going to happen anyway. But I just noticed it. And all of like the language is important. In all their language, they never say third party. Like they're like it feels very coached. Like they've been told, don't say third party.
I mean, I think it makes sense, because do you really want to just be like labeled as the new Sega? Or do you want to create your own legacy and create something different?
I think that's happening whether they want it to or not.
I think it would if they no longer make consoles. If they truly stop making an Xbox, if there is no more Xbox, then yeah, they're just following in Sega's footsteps. But if they continue to make an Xbox and it actually does do something with sales, then they're creating something different.
Okay, so Delvin, why are they doing this?
To make money.
Yeah.
And also, until a grander scale, I think they can kind of just have their cake and eat it too, in terms of like, they think they can, at least. Let me rephrase like that.
I don't. I definitely don't think they can. But
I think they can kind of, in terms of consoles, they can kind of just like, we talked about it on Shaq a little bit. They can kind of like, okay, here's a little streaming Xbox. Here's a little cheaper version of the Xbox. You can still play Xbox games on Xbox consoles, but also you can play them over here. That's kind of what the whole Play Xbox Everywhere thing is. They're kind of being more closer to what their Windows counterpart is. Whereas you can use Windows anywhere and everywhere. And Xbox is probably going to be, as a console, going to be the video game version of that. Now, how successful that will be remains to be seen. But,
It'll be as successful as the Microsoft Surface.
We know everybody loves that thing.
I think I thought about this because I wrote these questions down, so I had more time to think about them. I tried to oversimplify, and I think what ultimately is here's the case, and you can talk about Matric and the Xbox One and the games or the lack thereof or whatever, Starfield, Halo Infinite, whatever. There's lots of things, lots of strings I think you can pull here. I think ultimately what it comes down to is the amount of revenue that they think they can make from publishing games has now exceeded the amount of money that they think they can extract from having their own platform. And I think that's why they're doing this. Mm-hmm. And I specifically think that likely changed when they decided, not when it was finished, but when they decided to pursue Activision. I think they saw Activision I don't think we really saw it at the time. I think they saw Activision as a way out. They saw Activision. If we have Activision, then we can be EA. We can be Tencent. If we have a brand, a core brand, if we have Call of Duty on top of all these other things we have, then it doesn't matter if we have a platform or not. That will make enough money for us to continue to exist in this space. And I almost see that as like that was their way out. And once they bought Activision, once that closed, they're like, okay, I feel like we are being slowly weaned off of the platform. I think that's the direction here. I think they are going to have more consoles and stuff, but because of their shift in strategy and the shift in business, I honestly think it's almost intentional to like slowly dwindle down that number and have like a soft landing to go third party, as opposed to a hard stop and having to face all the backlash and everything. Like they're trying to avoid that. Is my read on the situation now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely see that, and I think that their idea of having the console may end up just being like a streaming box. Like if you really don't want to get like, you don't really want to buy a PlayStation, you don't have a PC, we've got this little streaming box for you. It's an Xbox, and it'll take care of all of that for you. So they still have a hand in, the console space, the hardware space, but they're everywhere else. So, this is just like a little icing on top of the cake.
So the next question I wrote down, and you guys have already touched on it, we can talk about more if you want, is what role does Xbox hardware serve now moving forward? And I've got a couple of caveats to add to that. So Phil said that he wants Xbox hardware to stand on its own capabilities and features now instead of exclusive games. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think he means by that?
I was going to talk about that. I think that what he means by that, what I was saying earlier, how we can have Xbox on every different level. We can have our Xbox quote unquote Pro, that is a high powered PC essentially, but it's Xbox label PC. You can play games and stuff like that you can pay X amount of dollars for, that we only make a limited amount of. That will probably make a profit for us. Or we can have our little Fire Stick Xbox that if you don't have enough money, you can pay like $100 for, $50 for. I think they're going to just kind of.
I want to ask you about that. And I'm only pushing back just to kind of spur conversation because I've already kind of thought some of this through. The traditional console business, right, is that you make the money off the blades and not the razor. Mm-hmm. So how profitable do you see an Xbox console that isn't subsidized by the platform? Right? Like you're like, they have the Xbox Pro or whatever this box is. Like, what does that mean? Like in a price range? Like can they be competitive in pricing something like that if they know it's not going to sell a lot? Or do they shift and they start selling those at a profit?
That's what I'm going to say. I think they're going to sell it at a profit. So I think they're going to go the route of PS5 Pro.
Then my counterpunch becomes, how can that compete against PS5 Pro that's being sold at cost or at a loss because they are making money off the platform? Like the console business doesn't work like this. So I know we can say these things. We can say, hey, they're going to make a more expensive box and they'll make a profit off of it. But how does that compete in the space against things that are being subsidized?
I think they're not trying to compete anymore. They're finding their lane. And their lane is Xbox is a brand. You're here to support the brand. And hey, we know you like our consoles. So here's a console. And if you don't have enough money to buy this console, we have this console. If you can't afford a console at all, you can just stream our stuff. Any way you want an Xbox, you can get it.
Garrett makes
too much research and development for that.
If you don't sell enough, if you don't have a big enough base, how can you get people to support it if they're not going to make enough money off their games?
Mm-hmm.
They may not need to. Their games is the selling point now. They have Call of Duty, one of the biggest franchises in the world.
I'm glad that you took this path, because the thing that I've been thinking about in this past week is, I know they've committed to doing another console, and I think they will. And I think it's going to be a console, like exactly how we think about it.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure that we're not too far away from where they don't do a console. And I think that's, Phil, and I don't think people are going to want to hear that, because Phil just said box is in our name, and I think it's important. But as I just read, Phil said a lot of things.
But
like he said a lot of things in recent time that he's completely flipped course on.
I think the success of this next console or consoles determines what they move forward with. That's what I think really is going to
The other
really
thing about the
determine this.
console, like let's say that they come out with another console, if they are multi-platform, to use their word, if they're third party, why would they compete with a platform they already are supporting? Like if they're going to make a console that's going to rival a PlayStation, like why? If you're already going to put your games on PlayStation 6, why compete with the PlayStation 6 that already has your games on it? Like
Just
what path?
just for the loyalty.
It's
just
for
the
backwards
custom-
compatibility.
It's the loyalty.
Because and that's where I think thank you. You've made my point. That's where I come to we're slowly like we're weaning people off is what it seems like, because they know they have a commitment to people that have bought games there for decades like I have. And they know that they have to make something. They have to give you an option. So I think they realize that most people won't pick that option. So they're going to like, here's our option. And if you buy a PlayStation, that's on you. And as those numbers dwindle down and dwindle down and dwindle, they'll be like, hey, we tried and nobody wanted it. So now we're I think that's the road we're on.
Yeah.
And that's somewhat depressing. But I think that's where we're going.
Yeah. I think if it were me, I'd just make a premium Xbox. My Xbox is going to be just a step below a PC. Like this is for the people who have been here, who really like our stuff. It's going to be fully backwards compatible, but it's going to be a fucking beast. It's for all you people who really want to play console, but you know the PC is where it's at. And you don't feel like dealing with any of that. You don't want to deal with drivers and all the extra stuff that comes with the PC. But this is a premium offering for our most loyal customer base of Xbox. It's going to play all the old games. It's going to have Game Pass, and it's going to give you like the best console gaming experience. Yeah, all of our other games are going to come to PlayStation. They're going to be on the Switch or whatever, but this is like the premium console experience of Xbox is this. You just sell that, and if you don't want to do that, then here's a streaming thing, and you're gonna get those people who are gonna buy that because they just love the brand. Your coach Hulks, he's gonna buy whatever the premium Xbox is.
That's something I was gonna bring up.
And you make it a boutique. It's a boutique.
People are gonna buy it just because that's what they've always bought.
Yeah,
like we scoff at that a lot. It's nothing to scoff at. 20 million people. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot.
Especially if you can get them to buy something at a profit instead of a loss.
Exactly.
That's money made.
You sell a boutique product at a profit to your most loyal fan base, and you still have all your games everywhere else.
You go ROG Ally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I think that's spot on.
And then imagine you have something like the streaming stick that people can buy for like $50,
that it's going to sell a lot less. You know, like it's just a limited market.
Yeah, and then if you don't make a bunch of them, you're not losing a bunch of money because you haven't sunk all this cost into developing these. You really make it a boutique limited item. You don't even make a streaming stick. You just put the app on all the other streaming sticks.
That's the thing. Like I don't know about the streaming stick because you can just put the app on the streaming sticks that exist. Yeah, they're already on the Fire TV. They could put it on the Apple TV. Like I think they need to do. That's something they need to do better at. Like they actually don't have the ubiquitous support of something like a Netflix does. And it's like they really should. Like there's a lot of apps that are on a lot of things, and cloud streaming isn't one of them. Like the Xbox app isn't on a lot of devices. It's still very limited.
But how much would it cost for them to make an Xbox brand one?
Well, remember they had one in the makings and they shelved it. They had one, and the Keystone. They had Project Keystone. And we've seen pictures of it, and they just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, I think the problem with trying to make a stick is now you have another stick amongst 30,000 other sticks.
How do you get people to buy your stick over that?
Why buy your stick if I can just get your app on the stick that I already use?
I think that's very well said.
Because Xbox branded has its own controller with it already, so you just know what to do.
The people who want the Xbox brand are the ones who are going to buy the console.
They don't have enough stroke in the entertainment.
You would be surprised how much things people will buy if they know it's cheap. That's the difference. Like if you tell an old lady,
you can't out cheap Roku.
Right. I was going to say
the streaming sticks are already cheap. But those are not Amazon. Amazon just gives them away.
But those are not. They don't have the Xbox app on it. They're not.
They do. Amazon does have the Xbox app on it.
But my point is, you don't have the Xbox branding and stuff like that. When a parent goes in the store and sees, hey, just like the Xbox Series S, a lot of people just bought it because it was cheap. Here's the cheaper alternative.
how much money am I making off of that? There's not a large enough return on investment to that, because then again, you're just gonna have a couple of parents who may see that and buy that versus just putting the dang app on everything else.
I love
So
your
now
approach,
I have
Delvin.
to
I get the
manufacture
point you're
a new
making,
stick.
but I think you're overselling Xbox's ability to reach customers like that. They don't
Brick and
have
mortar is
that
also
kind,
dead.
they don't have that kind of market share. They've never sold a streaming stick. That's nobody thinks Microsoft when they think TV entertainment, right? And there's Xbox people and they have Xboxes. So why would they buy a streaming stick to replace their Xbox? They could do that now. You can stream on your console right now.
But we wouldn't be selling to Xbox people. We sell it to newer people who don't have
And
Xboxes.
that's where you lose me, because I don't
And that's
think
where you have to control. I think you'll get some.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. They've been trying to sell Xboxes to non-Xbox people for years and nobody's biting. That's why they're doing this. Like, that's exactly why they're going multi-platform, because nobody's buying Xboxes.
Not at the price they're at now.
That's even if you try to sell a little Xbox 6 for $40, why am I going to buy that over the Roku
or the Apple TV
or the Chromecast?
Yeah,
I think you can build a market out for it. I think you really can.
What do you think?
You can build a market, but it's so small, it's so minuscule that it's not worth the investment. It's not worth building all of that.
But what is the investment in a streaming stick? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What type of investment in it is just putting? Hey, here's our own brand of streamer.
So you have to you have to do the research and development costs to make sure that you can get the app. You have to create the OS on the actual streaming stick. You have to create a whole OS on the actual streaming stick to then support other apps, because you can't just have a stick for just that app. Then on top of that, you have to make sure you have somebody who's updating all of those apps, not just the Xbox app, but every app you want to support.
You're gonna buy a stick that just has the Xbox app on it and nothing else? No Apple TV, no Netflix, no.
But they can update the Xbox app to have those things on it. But it's not going to matter anymore anyway. Because
I think we're spinning the wheels here a bit, but you can't put YouTube's app on your streaming stick just because you want to. You have to work with YouTube. You have to sign agreements. Like there's a lot more here than you think.
But what I'm saying is, don't they already have that with the Xbox itself? The Xbox UI has all that stuff on there. You can't put that on the streaming stick?
The console does.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
The Xbox
it's
app,
a whole different agreement.
The Xbox app doesn't have any of that. The Xbox app is just Xbox games.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, you can't put that UI on a streaming stick. I'm like, all right, here we go. It's the same thing.
The whole console.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a whole different.
I don't know if you can run that on a streaming stick. I think you might need more hardware than that.
Yeah, you can't do that. And you'd have to have a whole new agreement for this new device, and you'd have to have whole new agreements for every app you want to support. And who knows what they may charge for that, because there's certain apps that are not on every streaming device. Like every little streaming doesn't have everything.
With a controller, I think you're looking at least $100.
I think people would buy it for $100.
I think
the question is how many.
I don't think many.
That's the problem. Not enough people to make it worth it, which is why they haven't done it yet.
I think they'd have a hard time selling 2 million of those. Remember, the Steam Deck hasn't sold 5 million yet. I don't think they could sell half of what the Steam Deck sold with that.
To be fair, the Steam Deck is still like $400, $400 or $500. So it's a little different. Steam Deck's a little harder to sell.
I think it has a lot more marketability and a lot more value, even at a higher price than a streaming stick does.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. I'm not trying to shoot your idea down, Devin. I'm really not. But I think the point is that when you try to sell that to people, I think people are going to go, I already have a streaming box or a stick. Why
I've got 37 of them.
I can already stream your Xbox app on my phone. So why do I need to buy something? I can already do it on my iPad, my computer. How many devices, right? Everything's an Xbox. How many devices do you already have that can do that with? Why would you buy a device to do that? You already have devices that can do that.
But then that goes to the point where why would you buy Xbox then if you can stream it on anything else?
Which is
in general
the point. That is the whole point why I wrote these questions down.
Point. Yeah. you but again, that's why I said you make a premium product. You make a premium console.
I think there's something there. I think you can sell that. I don't think you can sell a lot of it, but I think some of it will sell.
Mm-hmm. But that's my point. Every answer we come to is going to come to, we can't sell a lot of this. So then it comes to the point where why do this?
With this strategy, what is their core market? Like if you're telling me we're gonna make $1,000 PC that we brand Xbox and sell it to people, I'm like, can you outsell the Steam Deck with that product? Maybe, but I don't think it's much more than that.
No.
It's
But-
very limited.
It's got to be like
gets my point.
$700, $700 to $800, like right below like entry level PC, but better than a console.
And we're right back to where we are now. If you
But-
can get all of those games on a PlayStation for relatively the same
Right.
cost, plus the PlayStation games,
Yeah.
why would you choose the Xbox?
Some
Some people,
said,
now listen,
it's
some
just
people
it's
will,
just a small
people will
install base.
because they're Xbox. Like that person exists. But with every passing day, with every passing release, that number dwindles. It just does. That's a reality.
I 1000% agree. It is a small little. It becomes, like I said, a boutique niche product. It's for
And
the
that point-
most loyal.
That's where I ask, like, why even compete with the console? Like,
And-
why not
and I-
just support the one console? Like, you shouldn't even compete with like, just push people that way. See, I actually would take maybe a slightly different approach. Maybe I'll split the difference between the both of you. I say you go the Series S route. You make a games box that's affordable, that can play games, but it's not at the highest end. It's better than a streaming stick. It can play them natively. It's the Series S. We think we can do this. We can give you most of what you want at a fraction of the price. And you try to find a niche there. Like I look at the Series S and I go, I think maybe that's the path forward. PlayStation 6 can be $600. Okay, we'll be $300. We'll be $400. It's not as good. We'll openly tell you, yeah, it's not as good as that, but it also doesn't cost that much. And we have Game Pass. Like you maybe go the opposite route. And even then, I even question it because it's like,
Can you buy Nintendo Switch instead?
Can you compete in a space where you're not as good? Because for so long, they've been conditioned to be as good or better than the competition. Like, can they actually give us a product where they openly admit, like, oh, it's not as good as that? But if the prices keep climbing, I do see there's a space to maybe undercut, come in below.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot where no matter how you slice it, because like you said, people aren't buying Xboxes. So what do? Do you, like you said, you wean them off? You just start to you have less options for the console. We really focus on we've got great games. You want to play them? We have Game Pass. Really lean into PC. But
they can't cut them off; they'll get sued. They've got too much history and too much back support, so they have to have something. Because the way that I look at it, and this is something to think everybody should think about with Switch 2 and with PlayStation 6. Essentially, what consoles have become is they've become hardware as a service, and that your consoles are only as good as long as those servers are on, and as long as they keep to backwards compatibility on future devices, it's basically planned obsolescence. You'll buy the new thing eventually because your old thing will just stop working. Like you can turn it on and play games on it, but you won't be able to download your library. You won't be able to buy new things. So you've got to get the new hardware to keep going. Right. So I think that's why Xbox will have a console. I think that's maybe the core reason why Xbox will have something. They will have something you can buy from them. But I think they won't be very competitive in the space because of this strategy. And it's just to dwindle it down to a point where they can safely turn it off. They can't turn it off now. There's too many people. There's 25 million people that depend on them,
which is a lot.
If they can whittle that number down to single digits, then I think they actually can maybe back out. And I'm not concerned because I think I'm going to quit saying that. I'm here to support them either way. I love Gears of War. Right. So I'm just going to buy Gears of War, like wherever Gears of War is sold. So I'm here to support them either way. But in all this talk, there's a lot of people that are just very happy about this news. Of course they are. There's a lot of PlayStation fans that are like, this is great. I can just buy Halo on my PlayStation. This is perfect. And that's true. And I think we see a lot of that I think more games for more people is good. It's like a veiled message because it's like, of course you do, like everybody does, but that's not the point. There are people, millions of people that have built libraries on Xbox, have paid there and give them lots of money, right? Like they deserve to be supported, and and it shouldn't come at a cost of their exclusives, but it is, right? But a lot of those games that are there aren't on PC. Can't play Fable 2 on PC.
Yep.
So there's a lot of people like, you just move to PC. Can't. And there's a lot of a lot of backwards library, even on console, that aren't supported natively on other devices. And my fear right now is that they think streaming is the solution to that. That at some point they're like, our console is the streaming app. It's the streaming by whatever. And they're like, you can play all your old games via the cloud. That's my biggest concern. Because I can play all my stuff natively on PC. Like, I'm not too worried about that. All the stuff in the future, I could care less about. I'm really more concerned about all the stuff that's in the past. The stuff that I can turn on my Xbox now and play. Like, I'm worried about in the next 5 years, 10 years. Do I still have that option? Or is it like, you can play it, we'll stream it to you? You know, kind of like PlayStation did with PS3.
Yep.
You know, they're like, yeah, we'll give you an option to play it. You can play it. Like, you won't want to. Like, you know, nobody will want to, but you can.
This is why I still have all my old consoles. If I want to play those games, I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I look at the backwards thing and I'm like, do you deserve it? It was there for there, and if you have it on that console and you still have it, then you're good. But I don't necessarily think that there's any that Microsoft or Xbox has any need to support that. They don't actually need to do that, in my opinion.
That's and I should have maybe said this at the start. That's my fear with there's been a lot of talk. We've talked about it. I feel like there's a lot of momentum for them to have like a hybrid device. People look at the Steam Deck and they're like, Xbox, make a PC that looks like a console. And that's my fear with that idea, is that there's a lot of software that's not on PC.
Yeah.
So like, what happens then? If they go that route, what happens? Are we streaming that old stuff? Is it just not supported? You just lose that? Is it just gone? Do they find a way
to for that? It's called the Xbox 360.
There it is.
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean,
you're right.
That's the reality. Like,
that's the reality, and I don't like that.
Unfortunately,
that's like
a lot of those games just didn't make it to PC, and if they weren't made, they're not gonna go make those games.
They're not gonna port them over.
Not doing it. Yeah,
especially if you can stream them. If they have the cloud, and you're like, hey, you can stream Fable 2 on that if you want. You know, that's like my big concern right now. And I don't think it's listen, to be clear, it's not a big concern for me because I have an Xbox One S and a Series S, and I don't plan on getting rid of them because of that legacy. But they will only work as long as the servers are on.
Do you need a server for Fable?
Well, I mean, they have check-in, right? They have console checks for DRM. Like all of our consoles have DRM.
They still do that?
Everybody does. PlayStation does that. Everybody does that.
PS3?
No. I mean, I have a 1S and a Series S, not a 360.
Oh, see, I'm thinking, that generation is fucked. But
it's just lost.
Anything before it, like,
right? But all of these games I can actively play right now on my Series S.
You better get you a 360
if maybe they won't, but until the servers is turned off.
Yeah. Was Fable 2 on 360 or
360?
So you better get you a 360.
I've thought
call it a day.
I've seriously thought about it.
Yeah, get you a 360. I mean, you know, they're all eventually somebody's going to break the code, and it's going to be a really good emulator for it. So
yeah. Maybe that's their solution. Maybe they think they can bring things over via emulation. That'd be great. I mean, that would be an answer. That would be an answer.
I mean, you're more likely to see 360 emulation than you are PS3.
Yeah, I think 360 emulation is pretty strong in PC. I've just never really dived into it. All right. So my next question, I think, is maybe more fun. What do you think this move means for PlayStation? And if you want to do both, I have both here, and Nintendo.
I don't know yet, to be perfectly honest. I don't know what it means for them. I think it means currently that, now PlayStation if you have a PlayStation, you can have your cake and you can eat it too. But then you also lose a lot of that competition. Like,
I'm glad you said it.
As much as we like to pretend like we don't like console wars and we don't want it, the shit is fun. Okay. And it creates like this rush to want to build things and make things better. And I'm going to be better. We're going to be better than Sony, or we're going to offer you a better platform. You take that away and you lose a lot of that drive. So the competition being gone, you may not get as many great games because it's like, well, shit, everything's going to come here. We can take our time. we don't need to worry about trying to come out with the game because we need to make sure we get to there before Xbox because they're just put their games on our system too. So just don't
Yeah.
really have that fight.
I worry about the pricing.
I was going to get
That too. Yeah.
Like industry wide, I worry about that. I think PlayStation aggressively priced the PS5 because Xbox aggressively had models that were aggressively priced. And I think PlayStation had to react to that and adapt to that. And I think we've seen PlayStation in the past think they didn't have to. And I would just pull recent history. They raised the price. They're like, no, we need to make more of this now. Like, I worry about what a PlayStation that doesn't have a direct competitor at that high end. I worry about that. What does that mean
we're
for
going to
them?
see more of that. More
Yeah.
of, hey, we might need to raise the price. Hey, you know what? Instead of games cost $69.99, they need to cost $79.99.
Like PlayStation Plus goes up.
Yeah.
You know, like why not? Why not? You know, like
Yeah.
if you don't have a direct competitor, you know, like you're kind of left to your own devices.
Not only PlayStation Plus goes up, but it's lesser quality. We don't have to add as much stuff we used to have.
How hard do they push? How do they push for future?
They barely push it
gens
now.
and stuff? Well, I mean, I think you say that with the Pro, but like the PS5 was a push, right? Like if there was no Xbox there, talking about the greatest leap in technology and everything, does PlayStation push that hard? I think there's a question I want to ask before we even talk about Nintendo, because I did a little bit of this on Shaq, and I think that's there. But if you allow me to, let me just put a pin in that and move it to the side. I think there's a conversation here about just generally the console space, because I've seen some people say that like this is Xbox ahead of the curve, that consoles are dying, like this isn't a lucrative future. And like, what do you guys think about that? Like, do you think, you know, like with what Steam is showing, right? Your Steam library across a myriad of devices, like this idea of this walled garden ecosystem is at the moment under duress. Like it is literally being kind of like that console idea. Like you buy a box, you get games that are just for that box and that box only, and that's it. I think that idea, that philosophy is under attack. I still, however, think it's very successful. You know, I think people have read too much into the Steam thing as, see, this is going away. This is the way of the dodo bird. It's like, yeah, but Nintendo sold 150 million of these, and the PlayStation 5 is on track to sell another 100 million units.
Yes.
So like, there's still a large group of people out there that still very much sign up for this. Even if it's 10% less than it used to be, it's still a lot. But what do you guys think? Like, is Xbox smarter than everybody else in the room? Like, are they getting out before the consoles? Because we've been hearing about the end of consoles. That's not a new thing. I remember when the PlayStation 4 launched, they were like, this is the last console.
Yeah.
So been saying that forever.
Yeah, it's been a long thing.
I don't think it's the end of consoles yet. I think it's going to be, we're leaning toward the end of the way we purchase video games and systems and things like that, maybe. Because the whole market's kind of changing. Like, you know, we used to have a whole bunch of places where you can go to buy video games, like cartridges or systems, and now all those places are going away. Like, you know, GameStops are closing left and right. I want to say the Targets and Walmarts we just got the PS5 Pros over here, like recently, and they've been out for a while. You know, it's just the way things, as I go look around, I see, like, you know, the gaming sections are getting smaller and smaller. And that's kind of a fact of the matter. Pretty soon it's going to be just like, all right, you can only get this console either directly from the wholesaler or from Amazon.
Probably.
So I think that the way we're looking at video gaming as a whole is just very different than it used to be. And hopefully society will be able to adapt with that. Then you also have to add the fact that the cost of video games is going up a lot.
I think the industry is adapting to society. I think
I was just getting ready to say.
Yeah, I think it's the inverse of what you just said, Delvin. I think the industry is trying to adapt to people.
Because we're old and we still play games this way.
We grew up like this.
Our kids don't play games like this.
They don't think
at all.
Like this.
They're not thinking about an Xbox. They're on mobile devices. They're on iPads and tablets.
I've said this before. I don't mean to interrupt you, but right here on this point, I've said before that to me, I'm somewhat saddened to see Xbox relegated to being an app. Like that.
Me too.
That saddens
me.
Sucks. Because I have a lot of history and equity with that brand, and I liked for what they stood for and what they did, and I wanted to support them. But my question, just while you're here on this very topic, Delvin, is like, but do you think younger people, like, are they happy to see an Xbox that they're like, oh, this is better? Like, I'm wondering, like, if we could get a room of people together, like, oh, this is way better. Now I have Halo on my phone.
I would say no. I think there are kids out there who's like, cool, I don't care anyway because I just play this one game. Like, as long as I get my Fortnite, my Call of Duty, but there's also a group of people out there who are younger, like, you know what, man, this is not good for the market because they see the price of games going up. Like, like the younger generations who like to play single player games who see the price of these games going up, but the stuff they like change, and they're getting less of these games.
I don't know those people.
Oh, they're out there.
I don't know any of those people. So, like, my entire office, most of them are like mid-20s, mid or early 20s. They do not play consoles at all. Like, some of them have PCs, but most of them are playing things on apps. Like, it is so much more prevalent to where they're like, I'm not buying no $70 game. I'm just gonna play this thing on this app. A couple of them have, like, I've got a PlayStation 4. I didn't see any reason to get a PS5. Everything I want to play has either come to this or I'm just not playing those games.
Yeah.
So I look at it like they don't play games the same way we do.
And you said the key things that I've been always talking about for a while. There's not as many games there were before, and the price of the games are getting higher. But at the same time, every kid I know says the same thing. I can't wait till GTA 6 comes out. I'm buying that shit day one. I think it's more of they
but
just
that's
want
one game, and that one game will eventually could very easily just be relegated to being an app.
That is true. But I think you have to give people those moments in those games that make them want to support it. And I don't think, frankly speaking, this generation has really done that. Games have coming out a lot. Like if you look at the PS4 pace of games, PS3 pace of games, we got a lot more games at this time than we're getting now. And I think people looking at it, and plus they're a lot higher now. Games are taking longer. They cost higher. So
that's not gonna, I don't think that's going to change though.
And that's what I'm going to say. And that's not changing right now. But I think that's the biggest problem. Gaming costs more.
Competition.
Say that again, Danny.
It might with less competition. It might.
Maybe. It's hard to say. Like, yeah.
I generally feel like one of my concerns with this path for Xbox, there's a few things that I've heard people say, and some things that I feel like I haven't heard people say. So I've been chewing on some ideas for this, and I'm sorry to come back from using the bathroom and just interrupt where you guys were, but just, you gave me that little landing point. I've heard a lot of people say that, like, this is about the cost of games development. These games cost too much, and Xbox can't afford them because they're not selling enough. And that might be true, like in a zero sum game. But again, I think the people that are saying those points, I'm often seeing them referred to as like copies of games sold. And the thing that's being missed here is the amount of revenue that having a successful platform generates beyond the cost of your own games.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's really talking about that. Remember, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, these platform providers make 30% off of every purchase sold.
Yep.
Period. Every Fortnite skin, every PlayStation Plus month, every game sold, every sale, every indie, everything, every horse armor, they get 30% of that. That's factored into your game development cost. Yep. So it's not just about Forza cost $300 million to make, and we only had 10 players on Game Pass, and it only sold 2 million copies, so we're under 100 million. It's like, yeah, but Forza's a reason for people to buy the box to justify you getting 30% off of every other thing. That all gets factored in. I'm not hearing enough people talk about that. And what I worry about is if Xbox loses 30% of tens of millions of players, as they have been, I'm worried about Xbox cutting more studios. And I mean that honestly. I do wonder if we play this out going forward. We've seen these companies behave this way before. We've seen Xbox behave this way. Now that they have things under their house like Call of Duty, like Blizzard and Bethesda, these big games, I worry about the South of Midnights and the Hellblades now in a way that I didn't when they picked those studios up in 2018. I do wonder when Avowed doesn't hit targets and stuff, and Xbox is looking at the amount of money that they are spending globally on game development and Call of Duty, and like let's say they get to, and I don't even know if this hypothetically even makes sense, but let's say they get to a point where they're like, you need to cut costs because our revenues and our margins are low and we want to provide return on value for shareholders. Do you cut a Call of Duty support studio, or do you cut Ninja Theory, or do you cut, In Exile, or do you move them, or like that's kind of my concern. Like if they're going, we're multi-platform, it's almost like a shift of thinking that I don't think people have really made yet. Stop thinking of them as Xbox, the platform provider. Start thinking of them as Activision, EA, the publisher. And if you put yourself in those shoes and then you start looking at their portfolio, some things don't seem like they fit.
Oh, no.
Damn, he just left.
Such a great point. He dropped out. Oh, now we're gone.
I hope that got in the show. I hope that wasn't just cut out. Where did you guys lose me?
Talking about them being like a publisher, EA.
I was saying if you put yourself in, and if you remove them as the platform provider, because we think Xbox, Microsoft, all the money in the world, they can afford everything. If you think of them less like that and start thinking of them like, how would EA or Activision behave in this way? That makes me think the In Exiles, the Ninja Theories, that they don't seem to fit as well in that model. And that seems to be the model that Xbox is running towards.
My question with that is then them going the third party route where they're putting all their games everywhere else. So if you take Halo and instead of it just being on Xbox, it's now on PlayStation, it's now on the Switch. You have Gears of War now everywhere, Avowed now everywhere. Does that make up for that 30% that you're starting to lose? Like that's the question. Can we make up that part?
But that 30% is going to be ever dwindling.
Yeah.
From this point forward, from this point forward, that
30%, from like 2 years ago forward,
it will be dwindling year over year over year, and eventually, because we've seen this play out, we've seen this for years. Eventually, there will be a time where the ends. I don't think the ends will meet. I don't think they're going to sell enough copies of Forza to sustain everything they're doing.
Yeah,
infinite money doesn't exist.
Yeah, and then
the growth will reach a plateau, and then what happens?
And then here's the question: do you then say, you know what, we really can't put Game Pass on everywhere else?
I think I've said this before. I know it sounds conspiratorial, but the whole idea of multi-platform third party, like I said, weaning people off of the console, a byproduct of that is you are weaning people off of Game Pass. Like holistically, it's a byproduct. You sell less consoles. If the Game Pass is locked to the console, you sell less of them. You have less people buying Game Pass. That's just natural. That is the way that it is. That's going to lower their cost of Game Pass. It just is. They're not paying for as many people playing the games. And I wonder if you play that forward. And I know we're talking philosophical, and it's big picture stuff. This may be 10 years from now. But if you forecast this out without some major change, these numbers don't seem to add up.
It's going to be very interesting to see how everything plays
They'll
out.
They'll make a lot of money.
Next console,
like the numbers, the money adds up. But it's going to look very different than the money that added up 5 years ago and 10 years ago and 15 years ago.
Absolutely.
It's a different combination of money.
30% is so huge. And you're right, people don't talk about that enough because everything that's sold on there, it's outside of whatever you're bringing. That it's a huge risk.
What they're risking. That's the bet that they've made. They've made the bet that if we go multi-platform, we'll make more than the 30% we're currently making off of everything sold on our own.
And you've got to hope that the other platforms even want those games.
Here's the thing. If they're wrong on that, it could be disastrous.
Yeah.
You could be talking about major cuts at that point. If they go full multi-platform, they put Gears and Halo, if those returns aren't the stellar returns that they think they are, now we're in a world of hurt. Because now you've risked the console, the platform, and you're not making up the revenue that you think you need to make. That's worst case scenario.
How many people are just like, all right, now Gears and Halo are over here. I'm gonna go ahead and trade in my Xbox.
You put Hellblade on PlayStation and it doesn't sell well because it's a niche artsy game.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Like, that's a real thing. I haven't really heard anybody talk about any of that. They're just like, this is more games. This is great. And those are like, I think these are real. I'm not trying to be, I'm honestly, I wrote these questions with purpose. I refashioned them multiple times. I wanted to get through a lot of these ideas. I'm not trying to sound fire and brimstone. I'm really not.
I don't think you are.
I'm trying to just play out a bunch of different paths ahead that I see, you know, and ask like, what does that mean? Like, what does this mean for PlayStation? What does this mean for Nintendo? I think Nintendo may be the best benefactor from all of this.
Yes.
Because we've seen Nintendo literally make an entire console without any support from anybody. Mm-hmm. Nintendo thinks that they don't need it. They're like, that's fine. We can have a very successful console without Call of Duty and Madden. We don't need y'all. And Grand Theft Auto. They're like, we're fine. But if Nintendo is going to get those games, because Xbox is saying we want to publish on Nintendo, we're selling games there, that's very helpful for Nintendo. Because
it's huge.
They're not making the games that PlayStation fan. They're not doing that. So if somebody else is just going to do that and put them on there, I think Nintendo is like, yeah, we'll take it. That's great. We'll take all of them. Just keep them coming. You know, and they'll just keep focusing on Kirby and Mario Party shit. Like, they'll just keep doing what they're doing.
Yep, you guys will keep making your stuff. We'll get that 30%, and we'll just keep making our Nintendo stuff and not even worry about y'all.
Like, if you're somebody out there that's like, I don't want to switch to because Nintendo doesn't have like those blockbuster cinematic big, you know, games that I want. They're about to
have all the ones you want.
They're about to have some of them at least. Like, they're about to have some. And I think that's, I honestly, I don't really see any other way of pitching it. That's probably a really big deal for Nintendo.
Huge.
Because I don't think PlayStation is going to start bringing them over. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
Call of Duty
is still in the place where they don't have to yet.
Yeah. And more so with this path that Xbox is taking.
Yeah.
You know, if Xbox was actually building their platform and actually making it worthwhile, I think you could maybe make the argument. It's like, maybe there's like some talent trade going on here. But with Xbox doing this, it's like, now for what purpose? There's no need now.
Yeah. You got to wonder, like, if they would have decided, yep, Call of Duty's only on Xbox now, how much of a shift we would see the opposite direction.
I think if you play that out over 5 or 10 years, I think it's a major shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean to say that as like a console warrior, but that's been something I've been saying. You know, people are like, they've tried and it didn't work. It's like, but they didn't.
They didn't.
They were playing with one hand behind their back. They didn't have. They weren't playing with all the cards yet. Now, here's the thing. I don't think they buy Activision if that was the case. I told you, like, with everything that we've seen, with the changes in leadership, the changes in strategy, the court documents, and everything that we have, the totality of what we have, I think they saw Activision as a way of pivoting in the business. Yeah. They're like, we'll pivot, and it worked.
We read those tea leaves totally wrong.
We did, and it worked. They were the game industry leading publisher last month by like 40%. They made more money than everybody else. And they did. I saw the tweet from like Piscatella. It was something like 60% of their revenue came from PlayStation.
Yeah,
it was Call of Duty.
Yeah,
again, because that's what Call of Duty, like, they saw. They're like, if we get that game, everything we've been doing changes. We just change all of it. That makes me worry about everything else they were doing. Like, it makes me like, because we saw what happened with Activision. It became. It wasn't worth investing in other things because that was money you were taking away that you could have invested in Call of Duty.
Yep.
That's maybe my number one fear right now. I know it's not going to happen now. I don't think it's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 years. But just the way the shareholders work, everybody wants infinite money, infinite growth.
Yeah.
That's my major concern.
I pray that Microsoft can keep games and stop looking at it as just the money and realize that this is an art form and we want to actually somewhat, keep the art form around and let Call of Duty just turn upon itself,
That would
but not
be
at the detriment of the art that is video games.
it would be very like confidence building if we would start hearing things like, we have Call of Duty so we can keep making Hellblades.
Yeah.
That would be great. It would be nice to hear maybe something like that from them. But what we've been hearing from them is growth, profit, revenue,
Yeah,
margins.
it's that top elite. They just want to keep making more
it
and more
sounds
and
like
more
what
and
EA
more.
and Activision says all the
So
time.
irritating.
So again, I'm here for it. Listen, at the root of it, I'm a Fable and a Gears fan. And we're gonna get at least one more Fables game, and I'm not too worried about Gears. I think we're gonna get a lot. I think the coalition is in that. The coalition is in that haves category. They're not in the have-nots category. They're in the haves category. They're gonna be around. So
best
I'm great.
On PlayStation.
Like I'm good. Like it will be best on PlayStation. Like I don't have a PlayStation 5 anymore, but I'm actually kind of excited to see how great Forza will be on PS5. I think about haptics in PS5 Pro and PSSR. Forza Horizon 5 is, I don't mean this a console to me, it's the best racing game available to date. And I hope everybody with a PlayStation 5 buys it and gives it a chance because I think it's incredible. It's amazing. And all the Forzas are, all the Horizons are anyway. It's my favorite racing series by far. And I think it could really, honestly, truly shine on PlayStation. It should. Because the tech in that game is incredible. They're like some of the best in the world.
It's great on my PC.
It is. Listen, I know Halo is the flagship, and I think Gears is like the best like core gamer game. I think it's better than Halo. I think it's been better than Halo for some time. But all of that said, Horizon is Xbox's best game past decade, bar none. It's the best game. It's their best franchise. It reaches the most people. It has the best review scores. Like it's the best. Like PlayStation is getting Xbox's best game.
Yeah.
So I think everything else is coming. I will. Before we leave, I want to say a couple things. I still think there's an expectations divide here that I would like to see Xbox clear up. As an Xbox fan, I don't think it's cool that they still yet to really give customers an expectation of what to expect from them. They're still kind of playing this, we'll do it when we want to, it'll come later, maybe this is day and date, this is 3 months later, this is 6 months later. You need to tighten that up. You need to let people know what they can expect, especially if you're going to be a multi-platform provider. PlayStation fans deserve to know when and where they can buy the games you want to make. If this is your path, Nintendo fans deserve to know. Xbox fans deserve to know. So if things would be timed releases, a year later, 3 months later, 6 months later, whatever that is, people need to know. Like at the start, people need to know. And if not day and date, and if it's day and date, you need to let people know that. Like I think it's kind of crazy that in their marketing, like the Xbox Direct, they didn't have a PlayStation logo for Doom Eternal, for Doom Dark Ages. It was just marketed as Xbox. Like I get why they're trying to do that, but you can't do both. Like you can't be like, we're the exclusives. Like almost like at that point, I know they're not, but it's like you're lying to people. If you want to be multi-platform, to use your word, quote, third party, then support people. Then put the PlayStation logo on the game. Like then do the marketing. Like, like don't hide all the logos and then do it in the blog post afterward. I don't like that. Be transparent. Let people know what they can expect from you.
I disagree with that only because I think you're creating those showcases really for your core, really for like the Xbox fan. And that's why you don't have the other logos, because it's like we're doing this really for you guys. They're coming to other stuff, but we can talk about that later because really I'm talking to, my Xbox fans, my Xbox core. So that's why I think it's okay to not have those logos in there. For everybody else who doesn't have an Xbox, we'll have the blog post for you. No problem. But
I don't like that.
this is for my people.
We'll disagree. I don't like that.
And I'm very much like the fanboy guy. I love console wars. I love everything that comes with it. So for me, I still like that, and I still want to see that. I don't want to see
the questions. It's not about that. I don't want the questions. I don't want to know
I don't
when and where I can expect to buy things.
I have a blog post for that. Go
Yeah,
find
but
it.
here's the thing. They didn't have a blog post for Forza. It just came up. Just someday, years later, it just came up. I don't think if you're going to be multi-platform,
I'm okay with that.
then be multi-platform.
I'm totally okay with that. I love it. I love the pettiness and everything that comes with it.
I don't think it's petty. I just think it's messy. It's not about
I'm
the
okay with
pettiness.
the
It's not
I'm
about
okay
I don't
with the
even think
messiness
it's
too.
not even console war. It's just we decide when we want to do things flippantly. And it's like you should, if you're going to support more people, then support them.
I like the messiness. I truly do. I'm totally okay with that.
I don't think they want to come out and say that anyway because of the internet feedback, which matters to some people and what they say. The negative press.
That might be true. That might be true.
That
I also
blowback they were
think,
getting, like even the whole Forza thing. Like
I think we're in the middle of this transition, and I think that'll be clear at the end of the transition. I do think it's wild that they've done this like mid generation. Like this is a crazy thing that this is happening inside. Like I don't think I would be as upset about this if they had like held it to like the next console generation. Like if they'd come out with a new console and they're like, listen, this is a new console generation. We're doing things differently. We're going to start putting our games on PlayStation. I think that would have been easier to stomach. The fact that they were like
the weirdest console,
the fact that they sold a console, literally bought companies and were like, we bought these companies to make exclusive games for this console that you're buying into Game Pass. And then in the middle of that generation, they're like, psych, we're not doing any of that shit. Like that is kind of mind blowing. Like it's kind of wild. I think that's honestly, after all the thought that I've given to this, I think that's maybe my biggest thorn. Like that's the biggest thorn in my side is that they did this like mid-gen.
Yeah.
This has been the wildest generation of gaming ever. It has just been so bizarre. So incredibly bizarre.
Again, to me, it's that expectation. If they had told me what to expect at the front, I could have made informed purchase decisions based on that. The fact that they told me one thing and then shifted, it makes me feel, less about my purchases.
I think that's the biggest difference between you and I. I have zero expectations from fucking anybody. I have none whatsoever. And I think you do a lot of your stuff based on the expectations of what you're told. I think
as a consumer, you should have them. I think
I
think you have a right to have them.
I have zero. I don't trust you. I'm not listening to you. I don't believe a goddamn thing you say until it's right there in front of my face.
This console generate, like the fact that we're here with Xbox at this point it's a bigger deal than the Forza like news that came out, I think, generated. It's because Xbox is like slow drip this. Like we've been on this path. Like I've brought up a million times. I told you guys when it happened, it's only 4 games. Like that's definitely not going to be it. This is exactly what I saw happening. This is exactly what I saw happening then.
Yep.
And that's honestly, it's a big. So we talk about this all the time, right? Growth and margins, infinite growth. People always want more money. There's always this temptation for any platform provider. This is real for PlayStation. Yeah, but if we put our games there, like we can make more money. Like it's always there. And once you open Pandora's box, you can't go back. You just can't do it. Like, what did I tell you then? Today, by the way, this podcast, this is the 1 year anniversary of Xbox on that couch saying that this is the 1 year anniversary of that moment.
Wow.
Where he was like, we're going to learn. We're going to put some games in. We're going to learn. I'm like, I'll tell you what you're going to learn.
That was a
year
year
ago?
Learn.
You're going to make some fucking money. Is what you're going to learn. Like that. What else is there to learn? Like that. It was wild that people ate that. I'm still, to this day, I'll never forget all of our Xbox channels, all of the channels that I've ever saw or looked for news. They were all like, this isn't a big deal. It's just 4 games. Like everybody ran with that. Everybody.
Except for us. We were like, they're going to make more money.
I was like, guys, this is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And you fast forward literally 365 days from now, they're full third party. They're like, nah, we're putting Halo on it. We're doing the whole fucking thing.
Guess what we learned?
Right. We learned they're going to make some money. Like it blew my mind.
We learned that we need to put Forza on PlayStation.
Our biggest franchise.
Yes, guess what we learned? We learned the PlayStation people will buy our games. Like, yeah, no shit. It's still like I will forever be blown away that like nobody took that bait. Like to me, it was right there. It was so obvious, but whatever. Anyway, I think we did it. I'm really proud of the conversation. I know it wasn't much. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but
no, that was good.
I think we did it in a way that I wish other people would. I didn't hear any of that from some of the other places that I kind of saw,
Yeah.
So whether you're out there, if you want to buy another Xbox or you want to buy a PlayStation or a Nintendo, I wish you all the best. Support Xbox games. Buy Gears of War, buy Halo, buy Fable, buy Hellblade. I think these are some amazing games. I can't wait to buy Gears of War on my Nintendo Switch too. I'm totally that's ultimately where I've landed. I'm like, fine. I'll just be like everybody else. I will buy all my Xbox games on Nintendo.
As long as you buy it, as long as you also buy it on Steam. Just make sure you get it on Steam.
For sure.
Yeah.
Eventually. But like as I always do, this is what I've been doing with Nintendo for years. I buy it on Nintendo because I want the cartridge, I want the case, and then I'll get it on Steam when it's on sale for $8. Like that's what I always do. Like I'm eternally buying games I've already played on Steam. That's all I'm doing. I'm just playing the futures.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the remaster because I tried to play like the Gears of War Ultimate. I just can't stand the control. I couldn't do it. I need you to refine that for me.
This is something I wanted to tell you specifically. Wait until Xbox starts publishing official Xbox accessories for PlayStation.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
Xbox controllers, Xbox chat headsets. Wait till that starts showing up.
Why?
I think that's the next step. Why not? They are the world's leading controller maker, accessory maker. Why not? If you're gonna put your games over there, why not make an Xbox for PlayStation controller?
We don't do that here. There's already enough third parties that have the broken sticks. We don't need an Xbox branded one.
Dev,
we're not giving you the technology to make it work.
Dev, guess what? You're about to start doing it here. That's about what's about to happen.
Oh God, I hope Sony is petty and they're Japanese enough to be like, we're not giving you the patents to put your stupid controller over here.
The highlighter yellow, the see-through red, the plasma purple, the metallic gold, you're getting all those blog posts. Wait, yeah, like the fridge, the toaster, you get the whole fucking thing.
No, it's not happening.
Oh yeah,
we're not
the cassette player,
broke ass controllers over here.
The Xbox for PlayStation 5, the headset. Oh, the headset. Wait till they make a headset that's 2/3 of what PlayStation's cost.
We already have those. We don't need the Xbox version. That it already exists. You guys don't get to do that here.
It's a
brand. We're not giving you the technology.
All right. Speaking of PlayStation DMCA'd a Bloodborne patch that was out years ago. The takedown specifically targeted McDonald's famous Bloodborne patch that ups the game's frame rate that was released in 2021. It's unclear why PlayStation has finally decided to take action 4 years later. Many people are looking at this as a sign of hope, a beacon.
Give up hope.
PlayStation's going to do something with Bloodborne. What do you think?
I would like Bloodborne to just die already. I'm so tired of hearing about it. Jesus Christ.
I'm glad you're so optimistic about this.
Like,
want Donnie to die? Want Bloodborne to die? What the fuck?
I don't want Donnie to die, but if it happens, I understand. But I think I'm just tired of hearing about Bloodborne. Like, either do it or don't, and say you're not. Like,
it is just very Silk Saga-ish. It's literally the top comment on like everything they post.
Yeah, I'm just tired of hearing about Bloodborne. Either remake the game, announce it too, or get off the pot.
Well, I hear Blue Point's free, like looking for work. So like it's that literally has been there for money to be made for years.
Years.
They're like, nah, let's make them have a live service game. that blew my mind. It's like
what a fucking awful idea.
That really is a bad decision. It's like literally you have thousands of people begging for a Bloodborne port. You literally don't even have to update it. Just make it run 60 and sell it for $60 and everybody will buy it again. And they're like, nah, live service game.
You see this Xbox? This is why the fuck we need you. You out here doing this stupid shit. PlayStation's out here. Hey, let's make a God of War live service. Shut up. Make what the fuck we want. Stop this bullshit.
All right. Well, I
do
think
Bloodborne, Delvin?
Yes, I did. I actually like Bloodborne. I played for a while, then I realized I'm terrible at the game. Absolutely dreadful.
I think the timing is strange. Why do it 4 years later? That is a little odd.
It is very weird.
I don't think that's for nothing.
It can't be coincidental. So just really announce the damn thing.
They didn't just find out about it. That can't be.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. Y'all are just as bad as Nintendo. Y'all take down stuff right away. So stop playing.
They probably was playing it. Hey, we can do this.
How'd they do this?
How did they figure this out? All right. BioWare trouble. We didn't talk about this from last week. So BioWare, this is sources that came to Bloomberg, and it's basically been all but confirmed at this point. Underwent what they've called reorganization. So usually when we hear that, we hear layoffs, but essentially what they've done is they've taken a bunch of the staff at BioWare and moved them to other EA teams to work on other projects. BioWare had a blog post that came out that said a small team remains to work on the next Mass Effect game led by company veterans, and that their hope is to expand once they get further into production. Jason Schreier says that small team is less than 100 people. So BioWare went from a studio of almost 300 people to less than 100 people. And this all comes off the news that Dragon Age didn't sell very well and all of that. Again, I don't make it sound dire. Like they're gonna make Mass Effect. That game's gonna come out. But if that game doesn't hit,
even if that game hits,
I think BioWare's in real
gone.
trouble. I think BioWare's in real trouble.
Mass Effect is going to be the last game BioWare makes before the rest of their team is absorbed into other places in EA.
I think if it's a hit
for BioWare.
I think if it's a hit, it'd be okay. But if it's not, I think they're in real trouble.
Yeah,
They've had a couple cracks
question,
at it
like,
at this point.
What's the hit? Like, what does it have to do to be a hit?
Because like they said,
I feel like Dragon Age did well. Like it was
sold over 1 million copies. That's pretty good.
The problem with Dragon Age was they spent so much cost in remaking what the fuck that game was going to be. They changed the game like 3 times.
That's true.
So I think
they stop doing that. Can't keep doing that.
BioWare has been plagued for a long time.
Yeah.
And BioWare is not BioWare. It really might as well be called something different because the people who made the name BioWare, none of them are there. It's a
very
completely different company.
Talk about the leadership of the team have been there. That they are original Mass Effect legacy people that have been there the whole time. That was a big part of the blog post.
Casey Hudson.
That I didn't write the names down. I don't know the folks. I thought he left a long time ago.
He did.
That was the main person. That was the guy.
So anyway, shout out to BioWare.
Pour one out for BioWare. That's the real thing. They've been dead since Anthem. Anthem killed them.
God, I really wanted to love Anthem.
Yeah. Anthem.
I thought about playing that the other day. I legit did.
Think again.
Like I wonder, what is
jump
it
in every
now?
time and then I forget. Turn it
on?
Yeah.
Is it still I can go fly around? Like I may just want to go fly for a minute.
The reality is Anthem is a single player game. The whole story is it's a single player game. You really don't need anybody for anything. They shoehorned all that stuff in because every character is the exact same person. It's really not a multiplayer game.
There's like a flight. There's a demo of like a flight combat game that I really like about Anthem. You know, there's a loop there that I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, I've jumped in every now and again.
It's the BioWare stuff that I'm like, oh, I gotta go sit here and talk to these people, the dead eyes, and look and do the decision. I'm like, that's not what I want at all.
Yeah,
Armored Core is what I want. I want to fucking blow shit up and be awesome. Like, let me do that. That's fun.
Anytime I've gotten a new monitor, new graphics card, new anything, I always throw Anthem in there because the game is so pretty. I want to see what everything looks like and how well I can run it. But yeah, you can literally just start the game up and jump in and fly around.
I may take it for a spin.
Made that an Iron Man game.
They nailed it. Like the flight is so good.
The flying is so good. It's great.
So good.
It's really, really good.
Multiverse's 5th season will be the game's last, and the game will be delisted in May. And I laugh because I feel like we all saw that coming. Like,
I said it once they shut down the first time. Like,
they should have just never shut it down.
What a weird. How much do games cost to fuck around with it like this? Like, it doesn't even feel like. It's like, don't these things cost hundreds of millions to make? And you guys just
Warner Brothers should not be allowed to make games anymore. They should have their game making card revoked.
It's kind of nonsense.
They've been fucking up.
I put this in here for you guys last week. Jean-Claude Van Damme's Kickboxer, the movie, is getting a game made by ex-Call of Duty developers at Force Multiplier Studios. The former devs from Mortal Kombat, Tomb Raider, Halo, Call of Duty. They're making a kickboxer game. Do you guys want to play a kickboxer the game?
I do. I love the first kickboxing movie.
I
didn't realize.
Is it a fighting game? What are we doing here?
I don't know yet.
Pit fighter, like
what? I would
you're-
imagine it's a fighting game. Yeah, like it's got to be. You're
kickboxing.
Yeah.
Well, the kickboxing movies,
sport, but
the kickboxing movies aren't necessarily fighting games anymore. They're like fighting movies anymore. They're like action movies now.
Yeah. I want to.
And that's my question. Like, I don't want to just play a fighter. Is there a story that I can go through? Am I the kickboxer? Like, who? What
you're
are we doing here?
Yeah.
So then,
I didn't realize
it can't be a
this.
fighting game, right?
I didn't realize this because I don't know if you know this, Dev. Van Damme left Kickboxer after part 2.
Yeah.
He recently came back to Kickboxer and made 3 more movies.
Jesus Christ.
Like a couple, like in 2018. He's making them again.
I want a blood sport beat 'em up, like Streets of Rage, but it's blood sport. Like I want it pixel and arcadey and everything, but blood sport.
I want Demolition Man.
I want that.
I want to go through every level, and I want to fight people, and I want to run from the cops, and I want to beat up all the different characters and all that jazz. I want to fight in the Kumite at the end. I want to do all that shit. But
I want that, but like as
Scott
just
Pilgrim.
a fighting game. I want it as a fighting game, but
Streets
a
of
single
Rage
player
4,
fighting game.
Streets of Rage 4, but Bloodsport. And all these stupid evil villains that come through and you knock them out, and I want to break bricks and shit. Yeah. I want to do the whole thing.
I love Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. So I'm excited.
Do you?
I absolutely love Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
Jean-Claude,
they're great.
I'm here for any dumb shit he makes. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Not
everything that he makes is so bad it's good. Double Team, terrible movie.
Street Fighter,
Double Team,
terrible, fucking awesome. Double
Lionheart.
Lionheart.
Jack, I've been telling Jack I want him to watch Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter with me.
They're both good movies.
They're both terribly good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Dev, the 50 series NVIDIA launch is a fucking mess.
Yeah, just like every other NVIDIA launch
It's
since
a
the
whole
30
fucking
series.
mess. It is not lost to me. You came on our podcast and you told me that my card is shit. That the whole 40 series was shit. That the 50 series was like the greatest card the world has ever seen. It's the most amazing thing ever. And then these reviews came out and everybody was like, this shit is mid as fuck. And they've only made 400 of them.
If they hit everything that they're talking about, then it has the potential to be great.
They did it.
So
they did not.
They did and they didn't. The funny thing about the 5080 is that it is an overclocking dream. So for some reason, like they've held back like the actual clock speed, but you can overclock these things to where they actually get the performance boost that you would expect. So it's just really weird the way they did everything. But the cards are great. But the reality is, if you have a 40 series card, you shouldn't be looking at a 50 series card in the first place. And the 40 series was terrible because of the cost.
I was very unmoved by the reviews. It's essentially they're like, yeah, I mean it's a little bit better, but it also is churning through a bunch more power to be a little bit better. And they and I'm more upset at the fact that they were like, this is the thing, you've got to get it, it's the new thing, and then apparently they only released like 1,300 of them for everybody to buy. Like there were none of them available. So everybody's talked about it's a paper launch. Lots of studio stores were saying we got 1 or 2 or 3.
Yep. Same thing happened with the 30 series. Same thing happened with the 40 series.
Joke.
Like this is always the way it goes with the graphics cards. But Garrett got one.
He did. He got his. He's not going to use it.
Yeah.
So,
nope. It's going to sit under his bed for a year and a half.
I would sell the shit out of that right now. The scalpers they're cleaning up. You just sell it, make your money, and get another one later. I
just really wish that there was something in place where it could be like, yeah, no, you can't resell this over manufacturer price unless it's on like offer up. You can't do it on eBay. You can't do it anywhere else. It's got to be on some site that nobody really uses.
I love that you're like, I wish the reselling sites would police this instead of the manufacturer just making more.
Yeah.
Like if manufacturers just made more, it wouldn't be a problem.
No, I think it's both. Like I hate the whole scalping thing.
Dev's
But I
like,
was
this is a real problem for eBay. They need to get this shit together.
but I
It's
mean
like,
that for
really,
everything.
NVIDIA
I don't
should
mean it.
just make more.
I don't mean it just for graphics cards. I mean it for like
No, I know.
everything.
Hey, I'm getting ready to
Drives me nuts.
Switch 2, so I get it. You know,
And apparently Nintendo's doing something for scalpers. Like they have
they
some
say
plan
that
in
all the
place.
time.
They're
We'll see
helping
what
them?
happens.
yeah, right, yeah.
But
you try to get-
I hate it
Dev,
all.
Did you try to get a Wii? Like
No.
they said that shit then too.
No, I
We're
didn't
gonna
do it.
combat that.
The Wii was notoriously hard to get for like a year.
I
There
mean,
were
I
people
worked
waiting
at
out of
Best Buy. I
GameStop.
always
Like
saw 'em, so.
people knew when the trucks came
Yep.
because they were so hard to get for a long time.
Wii
It
was
really
hard to get.
find a Wii.
Wii U was not.
No, the Wii U
I was
there
not
and
trying to get
there
either
were-
of those things.
were
I would
piles of
actively
Wii Us.
try
Yeah.
not to get those.
There were
I got
piles of Wii
one
Us.
by mistake. Just walked in. They were like, "Oh, you want a Wii U?" Like, "Oh, okay, I guess."
I guess.
Guess this is the kid's Christmas gift. That's literally what happened. That's like,
Yeah.
like y'all have them.
Wow.
The Wii was super hard to get.
Yeah.
I'm
Well-
hoping, and this is a fool's hope probably, but I'm hoping with all the tariffs and everything, I'm hoping Nintendo has been making these for some time, as we suspect they have been. There's been manifests and everything people have seen for months, and they've been stashing them here. Like, I hope there's a warehouse somewhere full of Switch 2s that they've just like, that would be smart. If you were working for Nintendo of America, that would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, like,
It's like, I need 10 million of them here, and I need them here now. Like, as soon as you can get them here before these
Yeah, like,
fucking
hey,
shit go into place.
we know this orange
Well-
fuck's getting in office. And we
Right.
know
Is there a
fucking-
tariff?
Exactly.
Would there even be a tariff that would affect the Switch 2?
It looks like
Yes.
there might be. Nobody really knows because one, the tariff actually hasn't gone into effect. But if it does, if the threat of it does actually happen, there's some gray area there. One, we don't know if there's an exception for video games. There might be. There was before. Two, I think most of Nintendo's the stock of the Nintendo Switch that was made for America, I think, was made in Thailand to get around this very thing. We don't know if Nintendo's doing something like that. You know, but I tell you, here's what I do know. I know Nintendo's not going to come over here and make them. I know that's not going to happen. So
Yeah.
they got to figure it out. But like, I know the tariffs aren't going to bring manufacturing home because nobody's going to make Switches here. So whatever that entails being, but it might.
Nobody's going to make anything here because the people who make the stuff are getting kicked out. So there's that.
That is true.
Do you think he knows the difference between China and Thailand?
No.
Yes.
Not even one of them.
Oh, he doesn't. He absolutely doesn't.
I don't.
Well, I know
honestly,
you do.
I honestly don't think you could give him a pen and tell him to point at China on a globe. I don't think he could.
I don't think he can.
And I
The
mean
sad
that.
part is a lot
mean
of
that
Americans
seriously.
can't.
That is true. You're right, and I think he's among them.
So sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just him, but I honestly
Yeah.
I don't think he could pick out China on a map.
Yeah.
I would bet money that he would pick Russia. Like, I think he generally knows where it is, but I honestly think if you gave him a globe, an unmarked globe, and a pen, you were like, put it on China, I think he'd probably put it in Russia.
Jesus
He's like,
Christ.
I think it's here.
The other one, sir. The other one.
Yeah.
And now we're renaming Russia China on
Yeah.
the globe.
Yes.
Battlefield surfaced. So we've known for some time now that this is the year of Battlefield. We should be getting a big new Battlefield game. They've surfaced with Battlefield Labs, where players can join to test the game. This is a giant demo. They're saying they have more players than ever, thousands of players testing out new Battlefield tech. EA is all in on Battlefield.
Yep.
Again, the scary part of everything I just said about Call of Duty, EA has every studio working on Battlefield, all of them. Criterion is working on Battlefield.
And that shit's
They
still
they
trash.
said they're like, we're not doing Need for Speed right now because everybody is working on Battlefield. Part of me wants to give them credit because Battlefield 2042 was such a mess. Like they're trying to resurrect this, and I think that's admirable because Battlefield could have a very prominent, lucrative place in the games industry.
Battlefield
But
broke
they-
my heart.
But if
Never
they swing
again.
and miss again, oh, that could be very, very bad. But they're trying. They want to be right there
Number
next to
two.
Call of Duty.
They want to
wanna
be number two.
They want to be the alternative. They want to be
You-
that
well,
thing you can
Well,
get.
you're right, Dev. They were a big number two. Shit. That shit was garbage.
I remember
Which
when
one
I pop-
hurts your feelings so bad? Jeez.
I did not like 5. I did not like 4. No, I like 4. I
Did
didn't
you
like 5, and I didn't like.
Battlefield 1.
Yeah, I like Battlefield 1.
Yeah, Jack liked
I
that
did-
one a lot. I like that
I
one.
did not
too.
like 5, and I hated
Played
this.
5,
I didn't bother buying this online only bullshit. No,
the
Of course you
2042.
wouldn't.
no.
Yeah.
no.
So they really broke your heart by making an online only game that you were never going to play in the first place?
I love Battlefield 1.
I would
Okay.
like the record to show that I shit on Battlefield 2042 at the start. I
Sure
told
did.
you all it was going to be bad, and it exactly was.
Once they said online, I'm like, I'm out.
I remember we had a
Yeah,
lot of
I
people
think
in our
all of us
Discord.
were.
Dev
looked
included,
cool.
a lot of people. People are like, it's going to be
cool.
good. It's going to be fun. It's not for you, Donnie. I got a lot of shit. I was like, I'm telling you guys, this game's
Shit looks cool.
suck.
And
But
this comes
I'm
from
never
the
gonna play
former
it.
Battlefield fan. Like, no, I'm over it. It's over.
No,
I
you're
remember I
not.
went on.
No, you're
I went on-
not. If you
I went
like
on-
the last Battlefield with the campaign, you're not over Battlefield.
Yeah, Battlefield
Stop
1.
it.
That was 2 games ago.
It was like 8 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we moved on.
As soon as they bring you back a campaign, you're gonna be like, oh, I'll check it out.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's the funny part. This labs thing got a lot. There was a lot of people that are like, fuck it, I'm in. Like, dude, that's true. The hope for Battlefield is still enough of a draw to get a lot of people that have been
Look.
burned.
They better have
Yeah.
a hell of a campaign there, boy. They better DEI the fuck out of that shit.
I want them to be great. I really do. I would love nothing more than to have a really awesome. Like but I'm old Battlefield fan. Like I miss Bad Company.
That company's great.
I love Bad Company. Bad Company 1 and 2 were amazing. Just
Great
remaster
games.
those. I'll buy them again. Happily. Just do
Now
that.
Donnie's talking my language. That's
Yeah.
how they get me.
is.
That's the ones you like, Delvin.
The
Like,
moment the EA rolls out and it's like Bad Company, I'm all in. I'm
then I
so
gotta,
there.
Fuck, I gotta buy this.
100%. Yeah.
I never played those.
They're super good.
Great.
Super
They're really
fun.
good.
Very fun.
I think I still have one of them for PS3, like
Just
in the
good
shrink wrap.
single player shooter fodder, like they're just really destructive environment. It's so fun to like have somebody talk shit to you and you blow them through a wall. You just like fucking smash the whole house down. And you're like, well, you're fucked. Like that is exclusively Battlefield. No other game gives you that but Battlefield, which is super fun. So anyway, if you want to test the new game, jump into the
Go get in line.
Yeah. There's a rumor there's a PlayStation Direct or State of Play or whatever coming out soon.
I'll believe it when it's announced.
Valentine's
Other than
Day.
that, it doesn't exist.
It's absolutely not. Captain America week. Not doing it.
So that's it, Dev.
All right. Rude Days got a scoring update. First, he says, just going back to last year real quick, college football ended up being the second best-selling game for the U.S. NPD. Madden was number 6, and an EA MVP bundle was number 10. Not sure who had what that, but thought it was interesting. EA dominated the top 10.
I think I said that I think college was going to beat on Madden.
That was
I
all
think
Dev.
I said that for sure.
Yep.
I was like, it's going to beat Madden for sure. All of us got the override on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 as it scored an 88. Delvin then picked up 2 points, getting the underride on Civ as it comes in an 81. And you got the Women's Royal Rumble right. I think that's fucking cheating, Delvin, because
How's that cheating?
You be reading and knowing who's supposed to win.
Oh, he
So
knows
forget
the
all
dirt
of this
sheet.
stuff is
Yeah, he
scripted.
knew
Yeah,
all
like
that.
I got the
cheating.
second one completely wrong.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's
I going into that, my instinct, I was like, I'm just gonna pick whatever Delvin picks because I have absolutely no idea.
Well, that's what you
But
should
then
have
it just
did.
became a fun conversation. I was like,
I
why
consider
not?
Charlotte was winning the Rumble a month ago.
Yeah. See, Don even knew it. Everybody knew it.
Again,
Charlotte's winning the Rumble.
I don't watch wrestling. I have absolutely no idea. And even if I did watch, I'd never read any of this stuff because I just want to be surprised and
I
see what
think I
happens.
said on our podcast Charlotte was winning the Rumble a month ago.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm sure I was absent for that, or it was during your weekly wrestling segment where I tuned the fuck out. I'm gone. I'm not here.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, nobody got the men's rumble right out
Because that was shocking and it was awesome.
I don't think anybody got
I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, so this makes the score. Delvin, be sure to thank Dev for adding in the Royal Rumble, Women's Royal Rumble. Yeah, I fucked up there, didn't I?
No. Thank you, Dan, for not being goddamn misogynist. Like we only have one Rumble. Like,
there you go.
Like,
There you go. Look at that. Look at that.
Dan was
Who's not a
the
misogynist?
super fun too.
Dan was the voice of reason. Like, hey, where's the other Rumble? I'm like, oh shit, Dan's right. It's the other Rumble at all. the better
Rebecca.
Rumble.
Come back.
We love you, Rebecca.
Yeah. So yeah, Delvin, you now have 6, and you have one of those points for me to thank you, son of a bitch. Devin, he ain't getting assists from this commish like the Lakers are with 4. And you're reigning, defending, undisputed Rude Days Games Champion of the World, who wasn't here last week, and the Rude didn't want him to miss this title, so he says it again. Donnie with 2.
I wonder if I actively try to pick wrong, if I can keep that number at 2.
That would be fun.
Like,
You
how
could.
long can I keep 2-2?
I think you fuck around and get something wrong right
Like,
on accident.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try to keep it at 2.
I'm gonna try.
Let's go.
Like,
All
the
right,
fact
so
that we're
who-
doing this in seasons instead of the whole year makes me not. I don't care as much.
Yeah. All right. So first one is who do you got in Sunday Super Bowl?
The Browns.
It doesn't work.
That's a good answer.
Just pick one or the other,
I'm all in.
man.
Myles Garrett, he won. That's
So Donnie's picking the Chiefs.
I'm picking the Chiefs.
Who are they playing?
I'm Philly.
Then I'll pick the Eagles. They always lose.
Usually, I pick the black quarterback, but I can't do that in this case because they're both black.
Yeah. No. That
Uh,
motherfucker is not black. We do not accept him. He's one of them.
We
He's
can't
he's just an other.
We
He's
can't
just
just
another.
kick him
Wow.
out.
The hell we can't.
The views expressed in this podcast in no way, shape, or form representative of my views. So
Look,
just
the black
snap it up.
delegation has traded Patrick Mahomes. We do not want him.
Does he know this?
Y'all, yes, he knows this.
For
Him,
who? Tyler Hero?
No.
sure. Luca. We'll trade him for Luca.
No, that's not it. We're not making that trade.
Yeah.
Wait a goddamn
Yeah.
minute, Rondell.
You know what? Y'all can have him for free. Y'all can have Kirk.
Wow.
You don't want him.
He's
Wow.
gonna be a soon-to-be 3-time Super Bowl
4
champ. Like, nah,
times.
yeah, fuck
We
that.
I gotta tell you, we don't care.
We don't care.
We don't care. We do not like that.
Is this
man.
because his
pick
wife
the
said fried chicken like that?
That's part of it. That's
Just
part
still
of it.
makes
His
me
whole
laugh
his whole
every
his
time.
whole wedding party was all white too.
Yeah.
He ain't one of us.
It was all white affair.
You ain't one of us.
Literally.
Basically, yeah. You ain't one of
Yeah.
us.
In a white party?
Yeah.
Every time
You
I
don't
watch
like
that
that.
video, I burst out laughing. Fried chicken. Nope.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
you're
know
wrong.
what video you're talking about.
I'll
So
show you
it
this
was
video.
a video where he asks his wife like, "What's my favorite food?" and she yells out fried chicken like that. And he's like, "No,
Just like
Mexican."
mammy.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
like a slave way. Like, why did she say it like that?
Wow.
And then
Wow.
when he said no, he's like, chicken fried rice? She just leaned into it. Like, no,
So bad.
it's tacos.
Yeah. I'm rooting for the Eagles completely 100,000% out of spite. I fucking hate Kansas City. I hope that somehow, some way, Patrick Mahomes has elbow bursitis, a terrible case of turf toe, and he has a really, really upset stomach
Wow.
and just plays like trash.
I just want everybody to have fun. Have a good time.
I'm not even going to watch, so.
Neither am I. I'm not
I'm
watching. the game.
watching Kendrick.
That's the only thing my wife, she's like, I need Super Bowl snacks and I need the Kendrick Lamar halftime show, but I don't need anything else about the Super Bowl.
I want to see if he performs the song, which I know he's going to perform, but just want to see. See if they do the line.
Yeah.
If they do the A minor line.
Oh, God.
That's what I
That
want to
was
see.
great. Smoking Joe said, we don't want Kermit either. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Wow.
And the last one, over or under 26.5 points for Luca in his Laker debut game. Currently, he's averaging 28.1. Delvin, you got to go first. You're winning.
I'll go over.
I'm going to go under. I don't know that he's just going to be able to come out and just gel, coming off of an injury, trying to figure out how they're going to play. I think he's going to get like 25, 24.
I agree with you in theory, but I don't know who else is going to take the shots.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was
like,
thinking.
They're playing like 3-on-5, and really it's like 2.5-on-5 at this point. So somebody's got to shoot it. So why not Luka? Like, what are they gonna do? Feed it in the post? Run
What
pick and
post?
rolls, the isolate? Right? Like, what else are they gonna do? Like, the offense at this point is LeBron go, Luka go, LeBron go, Luka go, LeBron go, Austin Reeves for a minute, LeBron go, Luka go. Like, that's the whole team. So, like, what else are they going to do?
So you're not trying to keep 2 points.
I mean, it's not that I don't want to. It's just like I agree with you. Like, if this was real, I'd be like, I'll take the under because you got to gel. You got to figure out maybe he doesn't play a bunch of minutes. You know how this thing usually goes.
That's what I'm
But then
thinking. Like he's
then I
coming off
literally
injury.
thought at this point, I don't even know who else is on the team. Like, is Rui still there? Is he going to take 15 shots?
Rui's
We're going to have the
there.
Rui show instead of the
Maybe.
Luka show? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Got Rui, got Austin, got
like he may get 28 points on 25 shots. But
it's true.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to shoot it. So why not Luka?
Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens. All right, question time. Free to Play Joe says, is it possible that Xbox is ahead of the curve with multi-platform support and that we could see PlayStation and Nintendo publish games on other systems in the years ahead?
No.
I mean, you'll see stuff like the Lego Horizon game go to the Switch from Sony, but other than that, what's their incentive?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
I could see PlayStation perhaps, maybe not likely, but if they didn't want to do their own portable system, which it sounds like they will, I could see them perhaps putting some games, old games on Switch to make more money. I think it's a possibility. But like, there's a lot of Xbox fans, I think, that are hopeful that like, if Xbox goes full platform and like eventually PlayStation will be like, oh, let's just put Horizon on Xbox. The problem with that is that Xbox will not be pushing their platform enough to make money off their platform. So if they're not going to, PlayStation surely isn't going to. Like, with a dwindling base, there's not any money. There's no money to make there. That's the problem. It's the chicken or the egg thing. It's the same thing Xbox has had. Like, there's a lot of Japanese parties that like skipped it because there's no money to make there. They're always buying the games. Like, there's not enough people to sell to. So
they probably got a PlayStation, so why put the game on Xbox?
Like, that problem doesn't exist on Switch 2. You'd think that it would sell very well out of the gate. And I wouldn't say, like, I wouldn't go expecting Intergalactic or whatever to show up on Switch 2, but like, if PlayStation is, as they've said that they are, like their CEO now, the president, has talked about needing to make more money and push margins. The games that they've already put on PC, could they show up? I think so. I don't think that's crazy. Why not put Horizon remastered on Switch at some point, down the line? You've already put the Lego game over there. Why not see if you can't entice some of those people to maybe buy a PlayStation? I think that's probably real.
And don't even put a whole lot of effort into it. Just put it on there and let it run at 12 frames and call it a day, because Nintendo people will buy that shit anyway.
The only thing that gives me pause is there's, by every account, it looks like, we didn't talk about this earlier, but one of the things that we did talk about on Shaq that, to be honest with you, Delvin and Rebecca didn't seem like they wanted to hear any of it. I brought up for Shaq listeners, like, what does this mean for Nintendo if PlayStation's focus now 100% turns and stares directly at them? It's been a long time since we've been in that situation, but the Eye of Sauron is going to turn somewhere else. And if Nintendo Switch 2 was making a bunch of money, I would suspect that PlayStation, if they don't have to compete with Xbox, will just compete with Nintendo just because that's what they've always done.
Interesting question, because the reality is, do they really compete or do they just coexist?
That's what I was thinking.
I think, and I mean, I get the point that you're making there, especially with like fandoms, but I mean, generally, you've said it a bunch. I brought it up on Shaq. The Switch has been a lot of people's second console.
Mm-hmm.
So if PlayStation could make that for them, there'd be no need for those people to buy a Switch, right?
They tried that many times, and they've realized that they don't have the ability to support a second.
Have they realized that?
I think they have, which is why they made
all the rumors are they're making a handheld. So I don't think they have, buddy.
I don't
Like,
think they're doing
and these
that.
are
I
rumors.
really
These
don't.
rumors come from people that were like, they're making a PlayStation 5 Pro, and they did. We're making a portable, and they did. And now they're saying they're making a real handheld. So I think they are.
I don't think so.
Well, we'll find out.
And even if they do, it's just gonna fail. It's not gonna work. It's gonna be the same tried and true story time and time again
You may or
because
may not be right.
nobody's making
The only point
games.
that I was making on Shaq, I wasn't people when I said it, Rebecca and Delvin were like, this is it, they shouldn't be. I was like, I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom. I'm just saying they've not had that attention. The Eye of Sauron has not shined upon Nintendo in that way since like the GameCube. It's been a long time.
Mhm.
And it's something to think about. You're
My
trying
only
to
problem with it
change
was
a new generation, sell 150 million more. Well, you may have stiffer competition this time.
my only problem with it was I think the cost difference is like so drastic now with PlayStation and doing this kind of like our PlayStation 5 $700 and the Switch is like, oh, just 400.
And who knows what they're doing on a portable, but if they're looking at the Z1 Extreme chip as like we can do something with that with like real games, it'll be $700. It's gonna be an expensive ass handheld too.
And that's where I think the problem lies. I think they'll probably be competing more with Steam, the Steam decks and the allies than the Switch itself.
Yeah, I take it more of it. I'm not saying like it's doom and gloom for Nintendo. I'm just saying it's 10% of competition, still 10%. That's 10%. You know,
the problem and why it's a no-win game is because you're not competing with the fact that Nintendo has a handheld. You're competing with the fact that Nintendo has games over there that are never going to come to PlayStation. So you can't win that game. You're not going to get those consumers that are buying a Switch to play Mario to buy your handheld instead.
I made that point in a different way. And I've said this before. It's not new. To me, why make a device and compete in that market when you could just put your games on the market and make money from it?
Yes.
Like if I were PlayStation, I would see it way more like I see PC and Steam Deck, even more so, because I think you have a better chance of one, selling more games to that market than Steam. Their Steam games haven't sold a whole lot. They're not making a ton over there. I think the Nintendo customer base buys games at retail, full read. They are more accustomed to doing that. Two, I think you have a better chance of transitioning the Switch player to be a PlayStation player than you do the Steam player. So if I were PlayStation, this is just me. If I were PlayStation, I would look at my back catalog and I would maybe strategically put some games on Switch. I don't want to say rather, because it makes it sound like something I want them to do. This really isn't like I want them to do this. I think it makes more sense for PlayStation to put their games on Switch than it does Steam Deck. I think Steam Deck poses a real threat to them in the long term that I don't necessarily think Switch does.
I agree.
Because I think you keep putting more games on PC, and I think you eventually do run into the situation where a PlayStation owner thinks, maybe I'll just get a PC instead.
Yeah, my games are here.
Whereas I think if you put them on Switch, I think you run into the situation of more Nintendo Switch players going, maybe I'll just get a PlayStation. You know, that's just how I look at it. I have no idea how they think about it. I mean, by all accounts, it sounds like they're going to make a handheld. But like in my head, that makes sense to me. But who knows? I don't know what PlayStation do.
Yeah.
But I think
competing with Mario and you can't
supporting win. And if they ever get to the point where they're day and date on PC, I think that's a real threat to their platform. Again, they're 30%. That impacts their nut. That's how they make their money. I don't think the Switch doesn't threaten that.
Yeah, I agree. Throw Ratchet and Clank over there. Throw Astrobot over there and just make some 100%. Money.
How much money would you make if putting Astrobot on Nintendo Switch 2? 2-3 years later, you've sold every copy, you've put it on Plus, you've extracted everything you can out of it. You put that thing, look at Nintendo Switch just had their earnings. We'll talk about Shaq. Dude, they have like 20 games that have sold over 10 million copies. Like live for like Mario Party, fucking Switch Sports, fucking fitness games, like everything goes over. PlayStation would kill to have a 10 million copies sold. Like 10 million, like we've had not just that. The Animal Crossing sold 50 million copies. Zelda sold 40 million. Like 10 million is big in PlayStation land, but Nintendo's over here selling 60, 50, 40 million copies of games. You know, like that's fucking nuts. You put Astrobot over there, you might fuck around and sell 10 or 15 million copies of Astrobot. You know, like that's a significant amount of that's real money.
Yeah, makes way more sense than trying to support a handheld.
I agree with you. I do, but I mean, just doesn't sound like anybody's. It doesn't sound like that's what they're doing. Sounds like they were readying the coffers to go toe to toe. They want to be in that handheld space.
Chasing trends. We already made that mistake with all of the live service games. Like, don't chase the handheld trend too. You've already proven that you do not have the ability to support it. You've tried a couple of times. You put them out there to die. So just you're muted, Donnie.
I think that's where the PC thing comes into play, because I do think where the PC game space is now, I don't think they'd have to develop games specifically. Like they could take the same games they have and just downsetting them and then play them, you know.
Yeah, you could, but then the problem is those handhelds are almost the same price as the PlayStation. So
yeah, that is the challenge. You're correct.
So unless you make that the only console, you're just shuffling things around. You're not building.
That's a good point.
TPR says, I'm calling the Luka AD trade the most bizarre trade in the history of the NBA. So if that's number one, what's number two?
I don't know what's number two, but what I thought of immediately, and I had to look at to make sure I was correct. When we traded, the Heat traded Stan Van Gundy to Orlando for like draft picks.
Yeah.
That is bizarre as hell. I forgot they did trade a fucking
like,
coach.
Yeah, like here you go.
Yeah, you can trade coach. They're under contract.
Has any other coach ever gotten traded? Because that is just super bizarre.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Who trades a coach? Like what?
The Browns almost traded for a coach. Doc Rivers was traded
as a coach
to the Clippers from Boston.
That was a trade?
Yep.
So weird.
But ridiculous.
John Gruden was traded. That was the one I was thinking about. Yeah, John Gruden got traded.
But I remember the Van Gundy thing because it was a big deal down here. I think he was having personal issues and things like that too.
I wanted to look into this and I didn't really have time. But the only one that came to mind when the question was asked earlier was when Chris Paul got traded to the Lakers and the league vetoed it.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen before or since.
Yeah,
the league literally stepped in and was like, "This is an unfair trade," and nixed the deal.
Yeah,
that shit was wild, and it blew. Like it was all ESPN talking about for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
People were excited about that trade too. You're like, nah.
Yeah, man, it was gonna be great. CP3 and Kobe, like, let's go.
Yeah,
you're like, nah, son.
Stepped in and said, "No, thank you. We're not."
And it wasn't that bad of a trade, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly the terms of deals, but I remember being like, I remember thinking that trade was better than the trade that he eventually got traded for. I was like, they should have just taken the Lakers deal. But yeah, just bizarre, like shocked. I remember being shocked that they were like, Chris Paul got traded to Lakers, and there was like,
no, he didn't.
But no, he didn't.
Yeah, so weird.
That didn't happen.
I was like, that's pretty wild.
Like they was playing 2K.
Right. And I don't think I've ever heard about it since. Like, what should have been vetoed was this fucking Luka trade should have been vetoed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Luka trade, the Paul Gasol trade, like y'all didn't have problems with those weird ass trades. But yeah.
The Kobe trade from Charlotte to the Lakers it's not a crazy one, but in hindsight, it's wild.
It is.
Because they traded Vlade, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about that is that he was a big money player at the time. He was a good player.
Mm-hmm.
That's the money they freed up to sign Shaq. That's the interesting part about that trade that I don't think anybody ever thinks about. That's how they could afford to sign Shaq, is because they got rid of Vlade. If they didn't get rid of Vlade, they couldn't have done it. Like it's literally a whole fucking butterfly effect for like 10 years of the NBA if that doesn't happen.
It's crazy.
3-way deal between the Lakers, Hornets, and Houston stunned the oh, sorry. Where LA agreed to part ways with Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom in exchange for Chris Paul. Wild.
Madness. Absolute madness.
It would have been Powell would have went to the Rockets, Lamar Odom, Luis Scola, Kevin Martin, and Dragic to the Hornets with multiple first round picks. That was a good trade.
Yeah.
Like it was a good trade. Like I'm not mad at anybody in that trade. The Hornets get Powell. That's awesome. The Hornets get a bunch of shit. They get Lamar Odom, Scola, Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin was a bucket.
He was good. K Martin
He was a bucket back in the
bucket.
day.
Yeah.
You know, like you get and Dragic. Dragic was good for a decade.
Mhm.
You know, you get all of them and multiple first round picks for Chris Paul. That's a sweet deal. And the league was like, nah, son. And he got sent to, what did he get sent to the Clippers for? That's who traded
Chris
for him,
Paul?
right? It was Chris Paul?
I think it was the Clippers.
Or was the Clippers come later? Didn't he go from LA canceled to Clippers? Or am I missing
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, so he went to the Clippers for Al-Farouq Amino, Eric Gordon, Chris Kaman, and a 2012 first round pick.
Dude, the Lakers deal was the better deal. That was the better deal for the Hornets.
It was.
The league totally fucked over the Hornets.
They said we can't give the Lakers this. Y'all know.
Chris Kaman was good, but this was back when Chris Kaman's foot was bad and everything. Like he was good, but you know, he didn't play for many years.
The Hornets got fucked.
They got they got screwed over bad.
Yeah.
I like Eric Gordon and Farouk Amino. I think he might be a little overrated, but he wasn't bad.
Can they retroactively?
They should sue for damages.
Like
It's like I would much rather have taken the Laker deal.
Captain Awesome said, "What about the KG trade?" So KG got traded by Minnesota to Boston for Al Jefferson, Ryan Gomes, Gerald Green, Theo Ratliff, Sebastian Telfair, and 2 2009 picks.
Sebastian Telfair is a name I haven't heard forever.
God
That's
damn.
a good trade. Al Jefferson was a monster.
Like
he
was on
Gerald Green was a highlight reel.
I think the crazier trade for KG isn't that one. I think it's the KZ trade to Brooklyn. That was a fleecing. That trade was insane.
At that point, I was like, who cares?
Well, you're right, but you talk about bizarre trades.
Traded by the Boston Celtics with Jason Terry, DJ White, a 2017 first round pick, a 2017 second round pick of the Brooklyn Nets for Keith Bogans, Marshawn Brooks, Chris Humphries, Chris Joseph, Gerald Wallace, a 2014 first round pick, a 2016 first round pick, and a 2017 first round pick, and a 2018 first round pick. That's crazy.
And then they sucked. They traded all of that and then sucked.
Yeah.
And then they tried that same madness again and sucked again. They tried the same thing with fucking. Oh god!
Should have kept Chris Humphries.
What was his girlfriend? Was it one of the Kardashians?
Kardashians. Was it Chloe?
He was married. He was married. Chris Humphries was married to
the first Tristan, right? He was Tristan before Tristan. I don't know.
He was married to. He was married to. Oh God, I can't even think of her name.
Was
Kanye's
it Chloe?
wife. No,
Kim.
Chris Humphries was married to Kim.
Yeah, It was Kim.
Talk about failing upward.
Yeah.
He was a rebound. I give him that.
Something.
He was like a good 11-11 guy for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not awful, but not KG for sure.
Not.
Chris Humphries.
I'm not gonna say that.
Sebastian Telfair. Wow.
This
I forgot all about Sebastian Telfair.
Good old Bassie.
Yeah.
Oh. Did he play for everybody?
He
played for nobody, really.
Yeah, like that's the correct answer.
I feel like
he was there.
Team in the league.
He was there. I don't know if he played.
He sucked.
Yeah,
he
sure
awful.
did.
It's
so crazy because like he was being touted with like LeBron as like the next
he
two
was
incoming.
Yeah, he was supposed to be that big guy. He sucked.
No, he was not.
Terrible.
All right, I think we've answered this question.
Yes.
You guys see the Blazers are on like a 10-game win streak?
No.
Yeah,
because
they've been
who cares
fire.
about the Blazers at this point?
Hey man,
they're still a team. They still play basketball.
I'm just saying, I've been keeping up with Scoot. I haven't given up yet. All right.
I mean, you shouldn't. He just happens to play for a franchise that's never going to win anything. So
he's been pretty good. He's starting to get
turn his life around.
So he's going to be a Laker soon. We're going to find a way to get him. Mathman says the big Switch 2 Direct will post at 8 a.m. Central or 9 a.m. Eastern if you're nasty on April 2nd.
With Central.
Apparently Mathman does.
Nobody thinks that.
No one.
Nobody. Even people from there should just use Eastern time.
Yeah.
like you should even do your calendar.
Central's like the other one.
That time
I don't even know where Central
is. Eastern.
Like, is that
real? Is that real?
And it's the other one.
Yeah,
Eastern, Western, and the other one.
I mean, it could be worse. You could have said Mountain Time.
You need to pick one. Okay,
Mountain can fuck off.
Of the times. We need to pick one of the times and quit fucking around with this nonsense.
So his question is, how will you watch it, if at all? I don't have to leave home until 9, so I'll wake up my 18-year-old so we can watch it together. We always watch them together, even if we have to wait several hours.
Didn't we get this question on Shaq and everybody got mad at me because of my answer?
I don't think so. I put this question on Shaq, so you're going to answer it again. Or you're not, but I put it on the docket for this weekend.
I can answer it again. I watch it by letting Donnie tell me what the fuck happened on it and keep it moving.
I took the day off and looked at. I hope to stream it, so I'll be live. It'd be nice if I could get Jason or Sean or somebody to join me. But that's the plan. Like just like I did for the Switch, I plan to be there. The question is, what do we do that night? Do we do Shaq or do we have Shaq invade PSVG? We do the crossover again.
I won't be here.
Yeah, you will.
You have
I want
to be
no
there.
parts of this.
You
shit.
missed
Why
one
not?
already.
Yeah, why not?
No, thank you.
What else
is
you got to talk about? Why not?
Huh?
Rebecca likes podcasting with you.
April
It's
2nd. I'm not
Wednesday.
being. I am not.
God,
I will not be here.
It's Wednesday. It's
It's a
our
Wednesday.
show. That's why I ask it. Yeah, it's
I
gotta
will not be
our
here.
show.
Where are you going?
So-
It's his birthday.
April 2nd is my birthday.
This is
So you're not going to podcast?
No, that's not happening.
What? On the day the
Nintendo
Switch is
did a
announced,
whole direct for your birthday,
and
you
you're
won't
not
be
going to
there.
be there? What the
No,
fuck
I
is
will not.
that, Delvin?
No, I will not be there.
You're
I will
being
be-
to bring your ass to work.
I will be. I will
Okay.
be in some ass on my birthday.
We'll
Nobody
see.
said you couldn't do that on the podcast.
We would get shut down. There's someone
You don't
actually.
have-
Someone
we-
did. Actually, someone
Your
did say
camera
that.
can be off. Your camera can be off.
I can't believe you're
It
not
doesn't
gonna
have to be
show
on.
up for that. You're not going to be there for that recording. That is like the recording. That's like the one to be.
Tell
on.
them make it Thursday. I'll be
I'm
there.
gonna tell them like, what do I call Furukawa?
Yeah,
Yo, my man said make it the next day.
yeah,
That's wild. Yeah, that won't be happening. You
yeah.
need to show
Konnichiwa,
up.
bitches. Make it Thursday. That's all.
Well, if Rebecca can't do it, then maybe just we'll talk about it. Me and you, Dev.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Maybe I'll get Jason or somebody to join.
He
us.
doesn't sound confident at all. They're like, I don't know about
Wednesday,
that.
I don't
Honestly-
really have any reason
honestly,
to not be there.
This is kind
So-
of sad. It's sad to say, but it's like a reality I keep coming around to. This is kind of like what I'm expecting for Switch 2. Like my kids are old. My daughter's leaving. My son's not that far behind. Like I'm kind of thinking like the Switch 2 is going to be kind of a solitary thing. Like I remember when the Switch launched, I streamed that direct like with my kids and shit, and we were all excited about that. Like there's a part of the nostalgia is like I'm like, none of that's all that's gone. Like it's just gonna be me streaming about the Switch by my
Yeah,
fucking
you-
self.
You
All
have just
kinds of
been
sad.
a bowl of sunshine this episode.
You're the one that's not gonna be there, Delvin.
Because
You're
I'm
the
gonna be
reason.
fucking Donnie. That's why.
You can do that before the podcast with your old
And
ass.
after,
Donnie
and
does it all
during.
the time.
Right. I did it today. See? I'm still here for the podcast. Okay. You can
Bring your ass
schedule in
to work.
advance.
No,
Who
that's not
celebrates their birthday on a Wednesday anyway? You don't save that shit till the weekend like a real adult.
it. No. Clap the
It's
cheeks.
birthday. I understand.
Nonsense.
But to answer the question, 9 a.m. is 6 a.m. my time. I'm not watching that shit live. You can kiss
You
my
wouldn't
ass.
watch it if it was at 9 a.m.
That's true. I wouldn't.
Garrett Bland is gonna wake up and watch that at 6 a.m.
I'm going to work, and I will watch it maybe on my lunch break.
Don't worry about Devin. I'll send you all the update. I'll tag you in every one.
That's what I like. That's my boy. That's my dog. That's how I get them. Like there was a switch direct today.
Oh my goodness.
It's just
So there you go.
It feels very different than 10 years ago.
It does. Because
You know,
we're all
and 8
10
years
years older.
Yeah, I know, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Arthritis kicks in.
but I still feel like that kid spirit that I had then. It just feels like
Yeah.
very
Well,
little
that's
of
because men
very
don't grow
little of
up.
it
We're
still
just older
surrounds me.
versions of the same kid.
Right. But
Yeah,
it doesn't
pretty much.
feel like I had more of that. It was like more communal then, and I don't feel like I have that as much anymore. It's a bummer.
You do. You have a show you do every week with us.
Yeah, but
That's communal.
But the people that show up to that show are dwindling apparently. Like you're not even
Yeah.
gonna come. It's like the one show of the year you're like, fuck that. I don't even want to
On my birthday. I can't do that.
It's like the one show of the that's you're gonna see brand
Blame
new games for the first time.
Nintendo. Nintendo. That's their fault.
Wow. I can't. I mean, I took the day off. Put in relief quest today. I was like, absolutely. I'm gonna order sushi for lunch, and fucking have a grand old time. Can't wait.
I was talking about
Nice.
my birthday today.
Of course you are.
Because it
You
was
are the person that talks about your birthday all the time.
I'll tell you why. And you're gonna feel because I started my new job on my birthday, so it was fucking weird last year.
Mm.
My first day, I was like,
Is
oh
it
yeah,
your
it's my
new
birthday.
job? It's the same job. It's the old job. You just like
Yes and
change
no.
chairs.
Change, yeah, kind of change companies.
That's not the same.
This was quite different. I never got into it. You know, it's a different building. I have people working it off with me that's besides my grandma and stuff like
It's
that.
the same business though, right?
I'm running the business, but it's how do I describe this?
Gotta go into an office.
Yes,
What did you do before?
Can't just go downstairs.
exactly.
Why didn't you do that before?
Because I didn't have an office. My office was downstairs.
Okay, so is it just
He's in a
office
house
thing?
now. He's in a whole different place and has to actually go
To the office.
And the business that I used to run,
in the business
no
you used to
longer
run,
there.
did you not go to the office? Why not?
yeah, I went to the office, but the office was downstairs. I lived there.
Oh my god,
It's not there anymore.
Yes, it's not there no more.
Okay, I've lost the plot. So it
The
is
business now is
different.
next door.
Business. So it's a different business.
Different business, kind of.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah. So Delvin's not gonna watch it. Donnie's gonna stream it, and I'll watch it maybe on my lunch break.
You're not.
I would watch it with my son, but I won't have enough time to watch it and then podcast. So
All by myself.
Sergeant Priya be there.
I don't know.
Sergeant Priya probably will be there.
He definitely will
great.
be there.
That'd be great.
He loves you. You hurt his feelings today.
I love Sean.
He was really hurt, bro.
That's more than you do. He's like, he's not even on our show, and he's like, I'll be there, Donnie.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck off, Donnie. We just show of the year. I don't give a fuck. I'll figure it out. Jesus Christ.
See? He just said he'll be there.
Thank you, Sean.
What is CPG Sean? What is this? He
Carpool
changed his name.
Gaming, Sean.
Oh,
I imagine that's his YouTube. He's probably off of YouTube. He's on YouTube and not Twitch.
yeah.
So
That's
different name?
my guess. It's like, why is this a different name? I'm like, what
I
the?
love
Where
it.
did that come from?
Aw. This baby's gonna be a week.
Oh,
old.
that's right. He's got another baby coming.
Yeah.
You're now outnumbered. I don't want to know what that's like. I refuse. Snip, snip. 2 and done.
Man, it's just 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Who wants to have to deal with another baby in the house?
Wow. Like it's
Diapers.
a blessing, guys. Damn. Oh,
It's a blessing
really-
up to a certain
I'm
point.
really happy for him. I mean, listen, my kids are
I'm
almost
happy for
out.
him. I'm
My
glad
kids
it's not me.
Yeah, my kids are almost out. So like it's really hard for me to I thought about that when he told me, and I was like, man, I don't know if I could welcome in like a new baby.
Yeah.
You know, like that'd be crazy right now. But my kids are old.
Yeah.
Like his kids are so young. He's in that
Really
pocket.
crazy.
When you're in that pocket, you're good. But once you leave the pocket, it's hard to go back. Like
Yeah.
it's really hard to go back.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, Sean. I didn't cut my balls off.
Sit.
Wow, that's painful.
Castrated,
Yeah.
gone.
He's
Yeah.
a bull.
No
A
wonder
bull?
Dev's so angry.
Yeah, I'd be angry too.
I'd be
Walking
mad at
around
the world,
ballless. Just ballers.
Probably be even be happier. Moving on. Captain Awesome says, this is a question after seeing the VG Donkey video of the future of AAA gaming.
I don't
You guys
fuck that
think we
is.
do? Neither do I. But the question is basically, do you guys think we do have a lot of this? Basically, a female ninja that kills something with a sword. So
It's
I'm
very
assuming whatever
in
this
vogue.
video is, that's what we get.
Yeah, I don't know what this question is, but if the
Yes.
question is,
I
do we
get
have
what
a
he's
lot
saying.
of ninjas and sword? Like, yeah, that's a lot. We do have a lot of that. That's
Women
real.
protagonists with swords.
Yeah. Do we have
that
a
a
lot of
bad
it
thing?
because it's like bad, right? Like, I think we have a lot of it because probably a lot of people like that. It's probably yeah.
Well,
I feel like every time Ubisoft tries to make anything that's not that, they get a lot of shit for it. Like they're like, we're in the Caribbean. People are like, culture appropriation. Like we're in Montana, culture appropriation. We're in Australia, culture appropriation. But like we've got a ninja with a sword. People are like, all right,
we're cool with that. Look,
right.
So it might be like the one thing that's like universally accepted by most people. It's like the common denominator is a woman with a sword. Like, yeah, that's most people.
Japan isn't complaining about cultural appropriation.
Like, we can fuck with that. Everybody can get down with that.
There was an era in the PS3 where every main character was this generic bald head white guy.
Yeah. The infamous guy. It was everybody was Cole McGrath.
Everybody looked like Cole
McGrath.
Who are all of them? Who are everybody? Because
So
I
like
know this gets lobbied around a lot, but like
so if you look at the cover art for like a bunch of like the third person action adventure games, even some of the first person shooters, all the main characters were just like a
Cole.
white guy with kind of like they look like Cole.
Buzz Cole. Yeah.
Yeah, with a buzz cut. Like it was so many of them. It just looked like that.
Was it Red Faction? I think Red Faction guy was one of them.
I think Red Faction, Hayes.
Hayes.
Do those count?
I mean, that was the character because it was still just a white character with a buzz cut.
We didn't say we were good games. We just said we were.
Yeah. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is like, are you just pointing out the games that had white characters, or is every game had this character?
No, it was
no
like
other game.
It was a vast majority of games at that point in time that had it. All the characters,
the same character looked alike.
This one generic white guy.
It was so weird.
Like, everybody was a white dude with a buzz cut. It was just really weird the way they all designed their characters that way.
Generation or that era is very different, but I'm thinking I'm playing very different games. Yeah, my memory from that era is like very abstract. It's like characters. I think Sackboy, and I think Journey, and I think Flower, and I think
that's because like you were playing good games.
Gears of War, maybe Fable, but like I'm not thinking of Cole. Like when I think of
you ran Devil Way.
Cole. I'm like, what are these other games?
There were other games.
Shooters, I'm like Call of Duty. I don't really think of Call of Duty like that.
What the hell just happened?
I don't know.
I don't know. You disappeared. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't have that memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's something that gets brought up a lot, so I imagine you guys are right. But like Hayes, I was never playing that shit. Like I'm like,
that's what I was talking about.
You guys say Hayes, and I'm like, does that count? Are we counting Hayes? Like who counts Hayes for anything?
The only time we counted Hayes.
I'm just talking about like just the character. So yeah, you got Nico Bellic, who looks basically just like Cole, who looks basically just like Star Killer from Star Wars Forces, like looked like the exact same dude.
Yeah.
Even
Spec Up the Line guy.
Spec Up the Lines guy. Soap from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Like he had like the mohawk, but it was still like the same kind of face. Freaking dude from Mass Effect.
Yeah, Commander Shepard.
I didn't play Mass Effect, so
well, people played as Girl Shepard, but I played as Man Shepard. So I'm like, that's like that.
So yeah, it was just this era where like a lot of the characters just kind of looked alike.
I think it is like, does Nathan Drake count? Like, doesn't count, right?
No,
because he didn't have the
the cut.
So I feel like the same way about Soap. I don't think it's Soap, and I don't think of Cole.
His cut was basically a buzz cut, but he happened to have just the little strip. But for the most part, the way the way his face was shaped, and like the look on his face was very similar to the rest of them.
Yeah.
Just a strange Strange coincidence in that era.
That's all it really was.
Yeah.
I don't think unless they had like a white person generator back then for the game. Like, here you go. Give me generic white guy. Here you go.
Generic white guy 4.
Now let's put a mohawk on him. Now he looks different. Now he stands out.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Quickfire one. June Dubs. This is Fatty Quickfire. I'm coming off of a fitness competition at work and looking forward to a big back weekend. Wanted to shoot y'all with some of my favorite foods. So, burger or deli style sandwiches?
That's a really good question.
I'm going with the burger. It's quick fire, Delvin. Quick.
Burger. That was hard. I don't know. I'm wrong.
It really depends on how good either one is.
Burger or deli style sandwich.
Yeah,
pick both.
That's right. You got to pick one.
It's quick fire.
Both great. A burger, they are for sure.
He just refuses. Quick fire. Pick one.
He said burger.
Burger. Okay. Tacos or burritos? I'm going burrito.
Tacos.
I like tacos.
Nachos or pizza? I'm going pizza.
Pizza.
Sushi or poke bowl? Sushi. Dumplings or pot stickers? What the fuck is the difference?
That's a good question. You
know
what?
What's inside them? But
you know what? Pot sticker. I like pot stickers a lot.
Whichever one has the pork.
I think both of them do.
Pot sticker.
I mean, they both can. That's my point. It could be either one. So I'll go with pot stickers just to go with y'all. Lumpia or egg/spring rolls? I'm going with
I don't
lumpia.
know what lumpia is.
I don't know what lumpia is.
So lumpia is basically like an egg roll, but it's Filipino style egg roll.
Never had them. So I gotta go spring rolls. I love spring rolls. Yeah.
Lasagna or spaghetti? Lasagna.
I'm so fucking
sick. Pupusas or empanadas?
So who?
The pupusa?
Pupusa? Pupusa or empanada?
Whoa. I'm having that April 2nd.
God damn it.
Empanadas.
Empanadas here. I'm not a big fan of pupusas.
I am.
Jesus Christ.
Big fan.
See what I have to deal with here.
Just bury your face in it, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Cookies or brownies?
Brownies.
Actually, no. Cookies. There's so many varieties of cookies that I can get. So I'm going with cookies.
Cookies. I don't eat edibles.
You're so stupid. You could have an edible and a damn cookie.
That's true. What is your favorite cookie?
My favorite cookie?
Yeah. I didn't think about other. I just thought like chocolate chip cookie. You're right. My favorite cookie is oatmeal raisin cookie.
Mine is it's a toss up between an oatmeal raisin, but it has to be golden raisins or a snickerdoodle.
Yeah. If it's oatmeal raisin cookie, the answer is cookie. But if it's like just general cookies,
you can pick the cookies like that. That'd be my thing because cookies is just a breadth.
Yeah,
like, there's so many different types of cookies.
Brownie is just the one brownie.
Right, that's the point. It doesn't say chocolate chip cookies. It just says cookies.
Yeah.
I would pick brownie over all cookies except for the oatmeal raisin cookie. How about that?
Okay, there you go. I'm taking the cookie still. Milkshakes or ice cream? I'm going ice cream.
Ice cream, because I can be more diverse with ice cream.
Fucker, you ain't diverse with ice cream. All you eat is vanilla. You don't even you don't even answer this question.
But I put sprinkles on it.
That
Shut the fuck up.
Fuck you, Delvin. We did the pancake shit again on the podcast this week with Dev, and I hit him with that again.
Nice.
He was like, "Pang." I was like, "Fuck you, Delvin." Just fuck. Right in the middle of the answer.
It's great.
All right. Sturt says, "What are you looking forward to, games or otherwise?"
Pussy.
We've gotten to this point in the night where you're not getting any actual answers. We're done.
He just has one thing on his mind that's 2 months away.
April 2nd.
Jesus Christ.
South of Midnight. Can't wait for that one. That looks great.
We just booked a vacation to Cabo in May, so I'm looking forward to that.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's a whole family vacation. The kids keep complaining about me and the wife going to Mexico and them never getting to go. So
Wow.
family
Wow.
vacay.
That's big money right there.
It's not when you go through Costco and you can pay payments. Makes it a lot easier. And
That's
it's all
actually a good idea.
inclusive.
Nice. Very nice. I didn't know you could do that.
That's a really good
Yeah.
idea. I am considering going this year to the My Chemical Romance concert with my son to watch them perform the whole Black Parade.
Yeah.
The who?
The Black Parade.
No idea what you're talking about.
Dad
Great
has
album.
never been exposed to this white shit, Delvin.
Yeah.
No, I have not. I couldn't tell you anything that Chemical Romance has done.
It's a great album.
I'm sure I've heard something that they've done, but I don't know any.
Definitely have.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. Oh, I know that song. No clue. Looking forward to the Switch too, Donnie?
For sure. And the 64.
Oh, yeah. When's that supposed to come?
Nobody knows. I refresh daily trying to find anything. Nobody knows. I'm taking a lot of time off this year because I'm like maxed out. So I've already put in several dates. My daughter graduates this year. I move her into college. Games wise, I really want to play Dying Light the Beast. And whatever comes to Switch 2, Gears of War. Like, very excited for all these things. Doom looked amazing. Goddamn, Doom looked so damn good. Movies, we get a trilogy, hopefully the final, I think, installment for 28 years later. So I can't wait to go see that. That'll be like a day one movie.
Feels like it took 28 years for that to come out.
I don't have like a lot, at least in the top of my mind, I don't think I have a lot of like day one movies that I'm like tracking, but like there's one of them. So definitely looking forward to that.
Sweet.
Sundance filmed a they previewed a documentary that's coming out about Chris Hansen and the Predator show.
Oh
my goodness.
I definitely want to watch that. So whenever that releases, that's all that really comes to mind. I'm hoping to have we've got all kinds of shit going on. We've got World Cup and everything else that's happening this year. Like I really just want to kind of get through the year. What I'm honestly, I think I'm looking forward to most is when the 64 and the Switch launch, whenever they be, I'm planning to take time off to enjoy them. Just something I haven't done since the Switch dropped. And
nice.
And I'm excited for that because that was like when the Switch dropped, I took 2 weeks off and that's all I did. And it was amazing. It was like the best vacation ever. Like everybody went to school and I literally stayed home and played Zelda. Like I was 12 years old again. It's like this is the perfect vacation. Like this is all I needed for vacation. And like I ordered out and I had food and I just sat there and played Zelda like nonstop. I would love nothing more than to recreate that same feeling. That would be wonderful.
Awesome. All right, Tyler, we're gonna ask your question next week because we're 3 hours and 15 minutes in and it's time to go.
Yes.
And I gotta wake up. I gotta get up early.
I gotta get up early too.
Like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's
so thank y'all for rocking with us for 3 hours. This is what happens when you get all three of us. We get a full show. We had some good conversations today, guys. I think we did a good job. And we all know Delvin is looking forward to April 2nd and clapping some Chiefs.
Wait till he finds out it's an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
But until then, please play some video games.